All right. I hope you guys like Commando. Overall, throughout the league, I think I have a document. Oh, I can't pull it up right now. In the whole league, I think there was a total of 14 Commandos, including tiebreakers. I think it's like 16. So there's been a lot of Commando. But it's only fair when there's 49 races and like a total of 90 some loadouts that we've gone through. Whatever 49 times 2 is, 98 loadouts and a few tiebreakers. I think it was like 101, maybe 102 if this goes to tiebreaker. We've done a lot here in the hosting league, but this is the final race. Before everything is said and done and understood and before we begin the tournament, and what a better way to start it off with than some bison steak. There we go. We got 4 racers here, the last 4 yet to go. Up in the top left, we've got Faku, and like a Commando orange, but it's on the Hornet skin. That's kind of cool. We got gruggybuggyy, default Mando, no skin tuner, chillin' like a villain. Has been creeping up after the first 3 weeks of not getting any points. Starting to make his way up and might actually have a chance of making it out of the wild card if he can win this race. Right. It's gonna have a little bit of a hill to climb though with Faku finding a plasma shrimp, with Tyler finding the plasma shrimp. Right, it's gonna be a little bit of healing in some ways, but alongside that is also a lot of damage, a lot of rapid fire damage, which is perfect on a survivor such as Commando. As a blue orb is hit, Popcorn going for the chance, or blue portal. Hitting that there, gets a Mocha early on. Popcorn, the other racer I haven't introduced yet, down in the bottom left, also with the default Mando skin. Who needs skin tuner? Come on. Easy. I think this race is done by Breach, so we've got some Breach internet, which is fine. We all know what's going on. We see some Titans spawning in, some Golems. Faku hits a TP, has an energy drink, has a... Dude. Come on. Sorry, where was I? Stone Titan for the boss. Faku going through that. Hitless so far. Has a healing drone, so it's going to be a lot better. No wisps or anything like that to worry about. Tyler, meanwhile, does not have a healing drone, right? Only has about 100 health, does have a war banner to help the process speed up a little bit. It's going to deal with the ads, right? Doesn't want to have to worry about getting hit by anything, by getting shot by anything, right? If you lose your plasma shrimp, things slow down a bit. You want to be able to make sure that Stone Titan dies quickly. Meanwhile, while Faku and Tyler are dealing with the teleport, we've got Popcore, who's found a repulsion armor plate. Hasn't found the plasma shrimp yet. Maybe isn't wanting to hit that until after TP, right? Doesn't have the healing drone yet. Does have the money for a healing drone. Finds the stake finally, the one stake that some of the other racers have yet to, or have already found. Was there a printer or something? I feel like every racer had one. Oh, right, Gruggy went for a firework printer. Got rid of the bison stake, turned it into fireworks, has plasma shrimp with that. It's got a lot of missiles in there. So for a loadout like this, you want to take it slow, you want to take it steady. You want to make sure, do you have enough damage? Do you have enough speed? Okay, I think this is the one timeout we get. I think this is when Cheese accidentally entered or something. I forget. Let's go ahead and go forward here. And... okay, we're good. So I think that some of the resolutions were reduced. Had to lower it a little bit. which is all good. We're back. We're gaming. We're chilling. Stone Titan is beginning for Gruggy. Unfortunately, Gruggy didn't have the War Banner in a good spot, so I was just going to go straight for the Stone Titan without that extra attack speed buff. Popcore also activating the TP. Actually has the gunner turret. Okay. Going full Gurret. Love to see it. Has the double bison stake, an extra 50 health with that repulsion armor plate. Chilling with that survivability. There's also actually a decent amount of movement speed items. At least for the TP, right? If you have that War Banner in there, you get a couple around. Oh, even a Harpoon. Yeah. Not ideal, but it's something. Right, you got an energy drink, you got a mocha. It's something. You can dodge enemies, at least. You can dodge Titan lasers with that. Or Golem lasers. And Faku and Tyler immediately activating, or entering stage 2 at the same time, both healing up from that same mending enemy. Tyler's internet's going full Tyler, but that's fine. Or is it? It's hard to read the chat at the 480p. Oh, there's pennies. Okay, pennies found for Faku. Faku's got that. With the repulsion armor plate, so you can farm up now. I mean, all you really gotta do is just... find a Wisp, activate TP pretty much instantly. And then you can loot up. Well, the damage items are honestly good enough. Maybe you're missing like an AoE item, if you can find like a Tri-Shop terminal or something on the way over. That's really good. Tyler's lack of items pretty scary. I mean, he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. It's not too bad. He's getting about 1 item a minute. And if he finds a printer, it can go in decently. The one thing I would be scared about if I was Tyler is I don't have the energy drink. The drink that Faku has, right? Also, if I'm Tyler, I'd want to... if I knew there were pennies on a map, I'd want them. Let's look at Faku's damage. Right, that's just from 1 Plasma Shrimp, and from a little bit of crit. I would personally want to farm that Titan a little bit, now that it's all low on health. I don't want to kill it yet. Only penny up. I can get pennies, and then I can heal with the Leeching Seed. I guess that's what Faku's thinking, clearly. Oh, there's a Scrapper on stage 1. Okay. Popcore spending the time going up, gets a couple scrap. Opts to keep everything else. Gets rid of the stake, though. Could choose to go into Fireworks if he wants. Right, that's by the TP. You know that Gruggy at least went for one of them. And got lucky with that as well. Oh, Blue Portal. Okay. Yeah, remember, I think you were the only one to hit it. Let's see what it is. Let's see what's in the Blue Portal. Here we go. We're bortling up. There's also a Jade Elephant. Okay. Jade Elephant on Tyler. None of the other racers have it yet. Holy H's. Okay. Huge red item in there. The good news for Popcore, if he decides to go into future Blue Portals, which I would still kind of encourage to do, right? The run's looking kind of good right now, but you don't know if this is all that happens, right? You don't know if this is... it's looking good, and then it's, you know, the river's going to run dry. Right? We've seen that happen in the past, where racers get overconfident, and they start, like, continuing to go with the river, and the river just vanishes, it poofs. I wouldn't call any of these loadouts a winning build at the moment. I'd say they're good up through maybe stage 3. We see a Void Cradle on Faku, who's already done the TP. Gets... oh, it's Void Crit. And you don't want to lose your 1 normal crit. There's a Sticky Bomb, at least. Gets that. Oh, there's a Predatory. A Predatory on Tyler, but Tyler doesn't have the normal crit yet. Tyler done with the TP. Never found the pennies. Uh-oh. You've got Jade Elephant. You've got Predatory. You've only got 6% crit, though. So it's going to be hard to get that extra attack speed value from it. But if you're Popcore, if you're Faku, and you found Predatory, I mean, you got a decent crit there. It would go up to 16%, which I think is enough. To at least get something, to get some value from it, if you're Commando. Maybe, like, throw a syringe in there and you could do it even better. Faku, though, is just going to go straight to stage 3. Is looking pretty good. Yeah, it's going to get some pennies. Double bleeds on accident. If Faku triple bleeds somehow or double bleeds again, it's going to die. Can always just Jade Elephant to prevent that from happening, so it can penny farm a lot more effectively. Scorch Shaker is actually one of the easiest stages of the game to do it with. We see some farming with Jade Elephant as well on Popcore's screen. Gets a little bit extra money that way. It's standing at $250. It's going to be able to go for the chance shrine. I forget what's inside of this. Okay, Rose Buckler. That's the same thing that Faku got. And Faku's actually going to go for... Is that an Ocular HUD? I believe it is. Is it picking it up yet? It's just trying to stand still to wait for the imp to finally decide to attack him. It's kind of hard for that to happen when there's a healing drone that really wants to just draw aggro a little too good, perhaps. Gruggy, the third one on the stage 2 TP, by the way. Getting some of those pennies. Oh, wait, no. Gruggy doesn't have pennies. Oh, God! Oh, God! If you were Gruggy right there and you just activated the Jade Elephant, if you saw that bell coming, oh, you would be in a lot better of a spot. But now Gruggy down to 6 health. Thankfully, Plasma Shrimp is technically, in a way, a little bit of a healing item with that 5% shield. It's like a 20 health buffer, but aside from that, it's just relying on the healing drone, trying not to get hit by the Stone Titan fists. Oh my god, almost died from that. Has to leave the TP to heal up a bit. There's a Brain Stocks on Faku? That's incredibly... Oh man. What is like the one survivor you feel Brain Stocks gets the least amount of value on? Is it Commando? I almost feel like it's him. I can't think of, like, many other survivors. Like, what are you gonna do? Throw more grenades? Oh, boy. Multi? Ah, but you can spam your shift and get, like, high burst damage hits. With this M2's value, I guess you get, like, a few extra, but the M2's cooldown's already really short. Gruggy using the Jade Elephant for really good there. Tanked an entire Stone Titan laser and didn't die from it. Has to run away, though, because of this gup. A gup that the other racers, I don't think, had to deal with, because they activated the TP so much sooner. But Popcore, now down, almost dead, while Faku's dealing with... Yeah, has to kill the beetles. Could actually... Yeah, it's going to try and use Brain Stocks a little bit to try and get some extra M2 procs and just kind of space them out over time. Gruggy takes a death. Popcore's probably going to take a death. Oh my god, both at the same time, both in sync. Killing the boss essentially at the same time, though, finding the most valuable green item in the whole game, Leeching Seed, at the same time. Now have a little bit of a larger gap between them and Faku and Tylor. Tylor, who's a little bit behind Faku, and I personally just want to say it's purely because of lack of pennies. Didn't find the pennies on stage 2. Right, no pennies, got a little bit less loot. Right, didn't get that crit glass as a result. Didn't get the energy drink on stage 1, right? I think that's another thing. A Commando who, with roll, I mean, you get a little bit of a movement ability, but it's not much. And now starting the TP. Has a Clay Templar, did not get 6 Mending Beetles. Right, because the director wanted to spawn the beetles, didn't have the credits to do that. Since this was activated later, more credits for the TP. Couldn't afford, or had too much money for beetles, so it's like, okay, we'll just do Clay Templar. Kills the Templar. Should have a pretty easy fight. There's a Shatter Spleen from the boss, by the way. Yeah. Welcome in, Dino. Hope you're doing good. That splane's going to be huge. Oh, and there's a gun. Was that from an adaptive? Yes, it was. And what do we have for stage 4? None other than Abyssal Depths. Shatter Spleen now for Tyler as well, but remember that crit from stage 2, the crit that Faku found. Tyler doesn't have, but Tyler does have a Predatory, which could be nice. Now standing at a comfy 11% crit chance. Who's going to have the highest crit chance? As a Recycler is found. Recycles the gun, turns it into a cube. It's like, okay, I could have a gun or I could have a reroll. Or Recycler, try and maybe get some more bleed, maybe try and get some movement speed. Right? I mean, a gun is cool and all, but it's just one item at the end of the day. A Recycler could end up being 6 or 7 items. As Faku goes in the blue portal, is going to be very excited and go all in when he sees the best red item of the game to synergize with the Leeching Seed. It was Aegis. And armor-piercing round found for Tyler, same one that Faku found. Tyler's still penniless. It's going to get a little less value even if he does find pennies now. Goes for the adaptive chest, probably doesn't know about the Recycler yet. Sees a quail, doesn't take a quail, but takes a gun. Right, probably didn't take the quail because already had the one. The one quail that Faku actually didn't find. Faku is quailless. Interesting. So now we have Faku who has a Recycler. We have Tyler who has a gun. We have Tyler with the less crit and less movement speed. We'll see what the boss is, as Tyler's going to get baited. Maybe trying to find that free solution in the loadout so tough. Oh boy. Okay, there was a red item. A red item that Faku found. I couldn't quite tell if that was a Wake of Vultures. It almost looked like a Scorpion, but there's no way that a Scorpion gets rerolled. It might have also been Ceremonial Daggers that Faku felt comfortable giving up because of the Shatter Spleen and the Gasoline. Oh, Popcore picked up crit, or Void crit. Interesting. Okay, that's I can see why you would. Oh no! Faku finds a Recycler from a Chance Shrine on the first hit. So Tyler's gonna probably get that Recycler. Assuming he goes for the Shrine, but as soon as that happens, right, you have a gun, you have a Recycler. I mean, if the boss item sucks and Tyler doesn't immediately pick it up, I could get something nice. There's a credit card as well? What? Oh, that's a reroll. Okay. The Void crit, though. I mean, it's a gamble. The gamble being, is this run going to be so coped that I'm never going to be able to kill anything? The only thing I can do is use Void crit to save my life. And the answer to that is, no, it's not going to be a run like that. There's going to be a Shatter Spleen on stage 3, and you are going to be very sad. There's also an ATG printer, though. Holy. And suddenly items like Leeching Seed and Hunter's Harpoon and Lepton Daisy are going to be turned into something much nicer. I think they have to go through the whole Void Seed, though, before opening it up. Which, while super duper easy for Tyler and Faku, we'll see how Gruggy and Popcorn handle it. Gruggy, who's still on stage 2, despite being 17.5 minutes real time with $700, is kind of getting baited. Wait, doesn't even have pennies. How do you have $700 with penny? No penny. Interesting. It was Meat Hook. Okay. So Sentient Meat Hook and the Shattering Justice. I guess I saw like the little hook end of the Meat Hook, like the little C at the end, and thought like 5 different things. Gruggy at TP Cope. Okay. Gruggy's gonna hit this Chance Shrine 5 times and eventually get a Monster Tooth if he goes for it. Yeah, get that Monster Tooth. There you go, Gruggy. Hey, my short-term memory isn't that bad. I can remember a thing or two. I knew that was Monster Tooth. There's safer spaces. Was that a reroll? I don't think it was. Because Faku's only at like 13 seconds before reroll cooldown. So that might have been one. It was a reroll from Vrit? Oh, okay. Well, Faku almost died. Almost died from the Elder. But with that spaces now, what's Faku's healing? I feel like if Faku finds the Wungus, Because there was a Wungus. I don't know if Faku decided to reroll that one first. And then rerolled a little bit deeper in order to get to the safer spaces. But a Wungus would be really nice for him. Because he has no healing. Oh, there's another Spleen you can get on this stage. There's another Imp Overlord in the cave. And the cave is where the TP is. Popcorn, by the way, on the stage 3 TP now. Let's see a little bit of phase round energy being used. Wait, how does Faku have the beetles? That's weird. Or not Faku, Popcore. I feel like Popcore would have gotten the Clay Templar, right? Is using them, though, to spam the M2. Which is just what I would have done. I would have just killed one Mending Beetle, and then spam like 5 or 6 Phase Blasts, and then I'll just kill another one, and like get out the Phase Blasts and just spam it that way. Have a little fun with it. Popcorn might have just seen that Tri-Shop as well with the Recycler in it. Might end up picking it up, we'll see. Gruggy's over by the Brainstalks chest at the start of stage 3. And holy bloom, look at Faku's screen. That is bright. Man, nothing's better than having a Magma Worm inside the Abyssal Depths cave. They make it glow like that because back in the day, it just used to be super duper dark. There was no light at all. You had no lighting, no shading. And so the solution to it's like, oh, okay, we'll just make it brighter then. And they did. And now it's super bright. Faku debating on re-rolling that ATG. Already has 4 Plasma Shrimp. Ends up going for 5. And I'm thinking, you know, imagine me as a caster just being quiet for like 10 seconds. I feel like a few people out there in the world were like, thank God he's not talking every freaking second. I'm sorry. That's how I do. If I cease to speak, I stop living. If I stop living, then I die in real life. I can't let that happen. Okay, we got a rusted key. A rusted key on Gruggy. Did any of the racers get it? Popcorn got it. I don't know if Faku or Tyler did, though. Tyler's already on the stage 5. I wanted to say the moon. That's not the moon. Unless the moon is purple and large and called Sky Meadow. That is not a moon. And immediately we see Polyloot. Polyloot as the Void key. I wanted to call it Cradle. Has that now, and Faku will get that very shortly as well. If there was an encrusted key, that is. The gun was picked up by Popcore Gaming off of the adaptive chest. Was that a cradle? Was that an encrusted key, or was that just the a void cradle? I feel like such a fool. But not so much like a fool when I see that there's a feather and a Tri-Shop. I at least caught that. Everyone's gonna get that. It's like right next to spawn. And now we also have to think back to, oh, Tyler got encrusted keybox. Okay. Was that Tyler or Faku? Oh, it's definitely just Tyler. Okay. There's a Somerang that Popcorn's going? Opting for Somerang, having already done the TP, is going to take that instead. We might end up seeing every racer take a different equipment to the next stage, but that's really going to be tragic, right? We do know that Recycler ends up turning into a Pillar Skip with the safer spaces. We also know that the gun gets a Molten Perforator for really good damage, right? Tyler has good damage with that Perforator, with that Shatter Spleen. Right, also all the Plasma Shrimps that every racer will ideally go for off of that Void Cradle, or Void Seed. Why does everything just have to have the word Void and then something after it? Alright, we got the Void Seed, the Void Reaver, the Void Jailer, the Void Devastator, the Void Ling. The Void Potential, the Void Cradle, the Void Stock. It's so hard to keep track. Oh, man. You can just say void and then any word, and someone who only has like 20 hours in this game would probably believe it's an actual thing. You can get void touched. They want to be faction from RTS. I did not understand that that reference, unfortunately. Despite all the RTS games I have played. Void Mithrix when? They call that Umbral Mithrix, actually. If the mod was made after DLC, it would be called the Void Mithrix, though. So. Void Blight? Yeah, it's a pretty good skill. But how about the Void Stealth Kit? That's also funny. Is even if they didn't call things like Void Seeds or you know, the boss Voidling or anything like that, we would just call it that anyway. Because what do we call Plasma Shrimp? Well, okay, that one's actually Plasma Shrimp. But if something is too hard to remember, right? Like Lost Seers, it converts crit. It's still crit, but it's a different crit. Right? If an item is too same, then we just call it Void and then the thing. Or do we? I mean, it's so weird. How come Singularity Band is just Void Band? Plasma Shrimp, Polyloot, Needle Tick, we call those normal things. But Void Crit, Void Band, Void Dio, sometimes we call that Larva. Because sand is dumb Wranglish. Okay. So that must be it then. Do we call Needle Veed? I don't think that I know a single person that calls it that. You were a very unique one, Red. But while we're talking about this, while I was getting distracted, Faku's on the moon. And Faku has a Royal Capacitor. Has the spaces for the host skip. Does he have enough movement speed? Yes. Yes, he does. He's got a Shattering Justice, has the Polyloot, and the Plasma, which, I mean, Tyler has that as well, going for the TP now, going to proceed. No, just kidding. He's going to go vent, and then leave. Honestly, not a bad call. I feel like there's always, like, a head stomper or something that's always missed up there. I'm honestly surprised we call Needle Tick Needle Tick. I guess it's because of the debuff. Like, applies from the enemies as well. You don't think, oh no, I got Void Bleeded. It's Needle Tick because it's so unique and so significant, and oh no. And so unfortunate is Gruggy, who takes death number 2. What even was that from? Was that from a Beetle Guard Sunder? There's like 5 Beetle Guards on Gruggy's screen. Gruggy, who finally has the Shatter Spleen, though, on stage 3 still. Does not have the glasses. That's going to be unfortunate. You know who does have the glasses? Does have the Predatory and... No, wait, no. The Predatory is lost to Plasma Shrimp. But Popcore has... Oh, right, the Void Crit. So, there goes that. I guess you can Void Crit some enemies. Yay. Oh, that's unfortunate. What could have been like 16% off the Shatter Spleen. Instead, getting nothing. We also got to keep in mind that Popcore did stick to the Samarang, which might help a little bit, but we all know that all the equipments on Stage 5 are really, really good. You can take Ocular HUD for Giga Bleed damage, which maybe that might be something that Popcore ends up doing, given the fact that Popcore is stuck without normal crit. We know that there's a Royal Capacitor, and there's bands. Right? Faku has both a fire and an ice band. Gruggy... I thought Gruggy had 2 band. Oh no, it's Tyler. Tyler has 2 ice and 2 fire. I'm honestly surprised that Tyler didn't go for capacitor. Probably just didn't find it. I think it was up top of the map. But Faku already on the moon, fighting Mithrix. Mithrix getting wrecked. I mean, just straight up. Look at the damage. Look at that. Look at that. Bleed is building up. Because there's a Shatter Spleen, there's normal crit, there's Plasma Shrimp, which can crit, and if it crits, then it adds more bleed as well. Is there any normal bleed dagger? No. Faku making use of the safer spaces as well, knows that doesn't even have to dodge a hammer hit whatsoever as long as the spaces is up and active. And Tyler, meanwhile, has to do pillars. Right? No recycler from stage 3, does have a molten perforator, but molten perforator is not a pillar skip last time I checked. And in a run with so much damage, right? Maybe Tyler didn't know it at the moment, right? On stage 2, midway through stage 3, none of these racers knew that this run was going to be a good run. It wasn't until the H0sting popped up, and then the recycler / gun popped up, when people learned that this was a good run. And then the ATG popped up, and then the Void Seed that gave you both, what did it end up giving? Oh, it didn't really give much. I think it wasn't until we saw the rerolls, right? Really good rerolls on that Void Seed, but there's the ATG printer in there. And a potential Void Key that ends up getting Polyloop. I think it's for everyone that doesn't have a recycler, but while that happened, while Mithrix is already teleporting to the center to begin pizza for Faku, as Faku is very likely going to get first place, Popcore took another death. Right, it's now tied with Gruggy at 2 deaths. Might take death number 3, but it is inside the TP and almost has it under control. Pizza begins. Tyler's going to need to have Faku die here. It's not happening. Oh my god, it almost happened. Because a roll is a really good ability. But again, the bleed damage is really ticking up. On Mithrix, it does end. Mithrix is going to TP to the center one last time as Tyler begins his fight. Right, I think we... Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Faku was not looking. Faku was not paying attention to that shockwave. And because of that, takes a death. It's just going to go ahead and immediately end the fight and begin phase 4. And that is a huge throw. That is 5 minutes with giga damage that Tyler has to be able to beat Faku. And Tyler, I mean... movement speed isn't the greatest for running towards a ship. We'll see what the situation is for that. Tyler has a Quail. Actually should be fine, if not faster than Faku. Faku, who only has a Goat Hoof, Energy Drink, 3 Mocha. Oh wait, no, he has a Quail too. So it'll be about equal. Yeah, Tyler has 5 minutes. It's already almost over phase 1. And that is an open door for the other racers to be able to have. Right, that'll give Popcorn and Gruggy, if they struggle a little bit more, tiny bit extra time to be able to complete their runs as well. And fight for that 3rd position. But Tyler here, the 3rd seed overall, if Tyler, who needs to win this loadout race in order to maintain that 3rd position, right, if he loses, then it's K's to take. Faku is fighting for the 4th seed, I believe. But Tyler's already done with phase 1. On to phase 2 here. Still, again, it will have 5 minutes to get to the ship. Or 4 minutes to get to the ship after Faku is done charging. Just because of that shockwave. All Faku needed to do was look over, see what was going on, and would be fine. That is unfortunate. Popcore, by the way, done with the TP, going for the Void Cradle. Does have the Recycler found. That was from the Chant Shrine. Again, both Popcore and Gruggy will be able to get that. Gets the reroll, gets a Polyloot, gets the key. Is going to have even a chance for another Polyloot. I think the encrusted key that is on spawn is stage 5. I don't know what the other 2 options were. But we do know that that's what Tyler went for, was the Polyloot. I believe there's going to be Wungus in one of these cradles. There's 4 cradles. Oh my god. Popcore even going for a little bit of re-rolling, but while we're talking about Popcore, Tyler's already done with phase 2, did not take much damage at all, has 5 minutes to still finish, 4 minutes to get on the ship for now, and it's a Reach. I'm gonna need to have you here. I can't even read that. That's a time. We'll say that. We'll go ahead and look at that time later down the line. So we'll get that off there. There's an ICBM? Oh, no way. I mean, we're talking about ICBMs, but look at the damage. Almost got a phase 4 skip off the Molten Perforator. That was a huge leap off of it. Wow, okay. Phase 4 is starting now for Tyler. Tyler just needs to not die, and Tyler wins. The time to complete is like 38 something. I think it's like 38:11. I'll have to double check it and go through afterwards, and I'll verify everything. But as for the cast, we're gonna call it a 38:11. Oh my god. Okay, Popcore has an ICBM. That's gonna be huge, unless Gruggy finds that as well. Gruggy, who hasn't activated the TP yet. Popcore's looking to be in a pretty good spot. A little bit of lag again coming in through as Tyler's running to the ship. Just needs to not die while charging the ship, and we'll get in first place. All right, Tyler at around 35:05 at the moment. Running over. Okay, Gruggy found the scrapper. It's going to get some ATGs off that. Does have the plasma shrimp, so again, that'll all go into plasma shrimp with H0sting, which is very good when you have ocular HUD. Yeah, look at the damage on that. Elder Lemurian just gets melted. See ya. I still can't believe Faku died there. The throw of the century, and Gruggy just got rid of the 3 quails. Okay, I hope you know what you're doing with that. That's a lot of movement speed gone. I guess Gruggy still has 2 hooves, still has the energy drink, still has a couple mochas. Feels comfortable with 7 plasma shrimp, honestly. Understandable. Tyler just killing everything on the ship, having a good time. The only thing that Faku can have in order for Tyler to die at this point is for a perfected exploder to spawn in and immediately just giga hit. Tri-shot. Tyler in the next 4 seconds. Oh my god! Oh my god, gets hit by the Wisp a lot. Down to half health. Needed to have a 1-2 combo there, though. It doesn't happen. And Tyler's fine. I was getting a little close there. 35:50, it looks like. I'm going to say 35:50. Was the time for first. Well done for Tyler. Did not die to the shockwave from Mithrix. Did not die at all in the race. And because of that, has earned first place. Time to complete for our other 2 racers here, however, is going to be about 75:50. As a rough estimate, we'll go ahead and take Tyler's screen off here. Well done. Well played. GG, Tyler. We'll go ahead and hand those points. Tyler gets 3, and Faku gets 2. All right, Faku's going to need to beat Tyler in this next race, or loadout. Maybe take it to a tiebreaker, maybe get some bonus points or something. Maybe have Gruggy or Popcore pop off a little bit to assist. I believe if Faku loses this race, ends up in roughly like the 7th-ish seed, 6th-ish seed, somewhere around there. Right, 4th is a lot better than that. Means a lot easier races down the line. Horse Tomes picked up for Gruggy, not that it matters that much. Feathers found on Popcore. Popcore's thinking, already has Wungus, already has Polyloot, so it's like, okay, I'll just go for a Tentabobble. And when you have a Tentabobble and your proc chains like that, with Polyloot, with Plasma Shrimp, right, there's a difference between from 2 to 3 Polyloot. I honestly don't hate that idea. That's going to keep Mithrix at bay. Maybe if you're going for a little bit more damage, you go for the extra loot, but I mean, with Mithrix not moving around much anymore, it's a lot more opportunity for you to be able to just stand right next to Mithrix and get max damage in. Good to watch as well. Still needs to activate TP for Popcore. Very happy with choice to pick up Vrit. I still, no way. I mean, if you got a H0sting in there, think of all the bleed damage you get on top of everything. I guess maybe on the contrary, with all the damage you've already got, everything's just going to vaporize with such a proc chain, but that was a lot of time of building up the run. right? It was a lot of time invested to get Void Crit to the point where it is to... Oh, Grandparent, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, still has safer spaces. We've seen Popcorn get out of this before. There we go. Does not die from the Grandparent Spike. And kills it. Nice. Has a chance to reroll. Goes for a reroll. There's yet another ATG. I feel like we've seen a lot of them throughout this run. Gruggy, meanwhile, still on stage 4. Hasn't activated stage 4 TP. A stage behind. Both at 2 deaths. They have until 75 to finish the run. Whoever wins this run, between the two, gets 1 point. Has a really good chance of getting third in this race. Right, that's pretty much what they knew they were signing up for walking in, with the competition being as tough as it is. Third place for Gruggy, and actually let me check. I should be able to. If Gruggy gets third place throughout this entire race, no. Needs to get second place. And at least get 5 points total in order to make it to the 18th seed. But with JD getting in second place, Gruggy does need third place. And at least 5 points. Oh, that's going to be tough, actually. Yeah, probably need second place to even beat JD. As for Popcore, if Popcore gets in second place, moves up a decent amount. But then everyone else moves up as well. So pretty much is still going to just stand 17th. Unless Popcore can get like in first. We'll need to have Loadout 2 be very different. Yet another recycler. I think that's the third recycler we've seen. We've seen 2 recyclers from Chance Shrines. And then one from a Tri-Shop on stage 3. Recycle Mania. Friendly reminder to recycle all goods that you can that are recyclable. Make sure you clean them out before putting them in the can, so that there is a 5% chance that they actually end up at a recycling plant and not in a landfill. At least that's how it is in America. It's all about the idea, the fantasy of recycling. And then we can purchase paper that says made with recycled material and feel good about ourselves. Europe's about 30%? Okay, that's pretty good. 30% recycled is a really high rate, actually. A better proc chance. Yeah, throw a couple 57 leaf clovers in there. Oh, man. Another fireband found for Popcore. Gruggy, though, did not struggle whatsoever during this TP event. If Gruggy gets the legendary chest, right, $10,000. One legendary chest and you get an ICBM. Will he do it? We'll have to find out. Might just end up leaving. Look at all the damage. Seen it go to 97, 98, 99%. It's already at 52 minutes. It might just be, it's time to go. But does it? Oh. Ooh, what other reason would Gruggy at $12,000 opt not to leave at the 53-minute mark? Right? You don't want to get a DNF. DNF's at 75 minutes. Could be as low as something like 74, 73, 72. Could even be in the 60s if someone had a sub 30. You don't know. So you eventually want to start going a tiny bit faster, but Gruggy... Oh, it's going for the scrapper. Maybe thinking about more plasma shrimp. It's a nice idea to do something like this if you're full looting and trying to go for like a win streak or something like that, trying to just beat the game. If you're trying to speedrun, though, you have to understand, or at least specifically Gauntlet running. There comes a point where if you have 9 plasma shrimp or 10 plasma shrimp, how much faster is that run? Is that actually going to make you run? Right? Because now your plasma shrimps are doing 1/9 more damage than they already are. Which realistically isn't a lot. Right? Instead of killing something, let's just say in like 12 seconds, it's now going to kill something in like 11.5. And now with a pocket ICBM, I mean, that's, instead of 12 seconds, that's reducing it to like 5. If it were. There is such thing as too much damage. The only thing you really want at this point, if you're gruggy, is I guess healing. That was nice. Wait, did gruggy have a slug? No, no slug. So that was a good find, but I would have personally re-rolled that, Wungus. Oh, no, you probably need it so that you can open up the other cradles. Takes the key. Honestly, a good call. Higher chances for safer spaces. Or a polyloot. Polyloot that gruggy does not have yet. Gruggy actually almost died from that one. Okay. Does re-roll, gets a polyloot, goes up to 2. Very nice. And now for number... Okay, yeah. The only thing gruggy needs is safer spaces right now. And blocks that with a Teddy. Rerolls. There we go. Safer spaces from the Void crit. Get some more ATGs. It's running over now. And while we were focusing on gruggy, Popcorn's already almost done with host skipping. Let's bubble up. Sprints. Boom. You gotta love. You know, here at the end of the hosting league, isn't it so cool, right? Where at first a lot of the racers were really struggling with host skips or other pillar skips, things like that. And, you know, in a lot of ways, some of them still were, right? We did see JD last race struggle doing a Void Fiend skip with, I mean, a situation that, frankly, a lot of people would struggle with, the amount of speed that he had. But we see a lot of situations and a lot of setups that people and racers at week 1 didn't understand they know now. And if they already knew it, they know it even better. They're really warmed up, they're really doing good. It's been really cool seeing a lot of the racers just sitting in a call together, trying to teach and learn and just get some reps in, some scrimmage. Popcorn's been in there like every day. It's been full on in the grind set. And we see it there. As the Mithrix fight begins, and yeah, you can't even move. Right, this will be a free phase 1, a pretty free phase 3. Only downside for Popcorn is he's stuck with a recycler as the equipment. But who cares when you've got damage like this? The amount of extra damage you would have gotten from... I mean, an Ocular HUD would have been huge, but... At the end of the day, what's too much of a difference from a 1-minute Mithrix fight to a 50-second, right? Just from the process of running over and picking it up and going back is probably more time than it would take just to go and kill. This phase 1's already done. And Popcore enters phase 2. 57 minutes on the clock. Equal amount of deaths to Gruggy. Gruggy needs Popcore to Giga Throw. And phase 2 is a perfect time to Giga Throw. What needs to happen is Popcore needs to just walk out in the middle and then have every Wisp gain attention. But with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drones, it's going to be hard to do. Right? And Popcore knows better at this point. Knows, okay, I gotta not get myself in a situation where I'm just going to die. I need to outrun, I can outmaneuver, I can kill them in 3 seconds. Oh, yeah. And as soon as phase 3 happens, I mean, what is Mithrix going to do? Run at you? You've got Tentabobble. Mithrix will stand still. But here's the technique, and here's the thing with Tentabobble. If you get too close to Mithrix, he'll dash. And when he dashes, he cleanses his debuffs. So Popcorn needs to be a little bit further away from the be actually permanently still. But then at that point, you actually kind of lose a little bit of damage. Because of damage fall off and the accuracy issues. Vance proc off a Shatter Spleen on that golem, perfectly hit. Popcorn begins pizza. Here we go. I think this is the only slice we'll see. And if you're gruggy, it's now or never. You gotta hope, you just gotta hope it's not happening. It's gonna have to be going down to phase 4. We'll see what happens here. There isn't really anything that can land the kill. I think technically if you have Mithrix in the center, you can have Plasma Shrimp phase 4 skip. If it's like exploding in the center. The frame that he teleports back. I think you have to have a bunch of it though. You need like 6 or 7 Plasma Shrimp. Depends on what the attack is. Something about damage? At least that's what I've been told. I don't really fully understand the whole Mithrix damage phase 4 skip thing. I just thought it had to be any projectile. Right? I mean, if Acrid's Puddle can do it, if Arrow Ring could do it, I feel like anything could, but... That is plenty of damage. Mithrix goes for one last slam and is now going to die. Nice. Gets the equipment recycle drone. Nice. Actually cloned the drone. And looking for a portal. Popcore finds one. Gets to it. And is on his way out. Gruggy at this point, the only chance that he has is Popcore somehow taking damage before landing here. It doesn't happen. Easy. Rest in peace, Gruggy. We'll still have loadout number 2 to be able to catch up to Popcore, right? Assuming no deaths happen. Won't have to worry about too many tiebreakers aside from overall time. So the faster that Gruggy finishes his run, the better of a chance he has of getting a third. But we're about to see Popcore's time as it's looking like it's going to be about 61-ish. Which isn't bad. I mean, we can look at the items and everything. The run wasn't too easy until stage 4. Maybe midway towards the end of stage 3, things started actually looking really good. Prior to that, it was just Plasma Shrimp and like a crit glass. That was your damage up to that point. Finishes off, yeah, 61-22. Probably going to reduce by about 20 seconds from load times. We're about to see. But 61-22 is certainly faster than what Gruggy's current time is at. Is that 61? Oh, 61:01 total. Okay, nice. Yeah, well done, Popcore. Gets the third place. GG's. We'll go ahead and get that on the scoreboard now. That's a solid point for me. Well played. Now, Gruggy does have one concern. And while this Mithrix fight is only going to take like 2 minutes, right? I think I see like 5 Polylutes. I see double-digit Plasma Shrimps. Right, Popcore had 9 Plasma Shrimp. Tyler had 6. Faku, I think, had 5. Gruggy has 11. And as for Polylutes, there was only 1 on Faku, 1 on Tyler, 3 on Popcore. But you take all that into consideration, right? Gruggy has by far the most damage. Oh, fails the pillar skip. He's gonna have to try again. There's also the ICBM, right? Uh-oh. Hopefully that's enough time. Yeah, it's enough time. Just trying to go for the underneath the... Oh, no, stop shooting. Oh, Gruggy. Okay, roll now. You can roll. You can roll. You can roll. Yeah, rolls. Well done. Literally the last second. If Gruggy fell more than like 3 feet more, would have died. Just trying to go for the Giga Greed. And isn't quite looking at the right spot. Is moving out of position. Probably just be better to go for the classic. Yeah, you want to look at like stand in the center, look at the 25% of the left of the tree, like towards the left, is looking a little bit too far to the right. Yeah, it's going to just fly outward as a result. Gruggy just panicking right now. Normally we've seen Gruggy do this just fine. I think it's just the panic that's setting in. And the panic is there's a perfected Chimera coming. Thankfully it dies in 2 seconds because Gruggy's damage is literally infinite. Okay, gets the first one. Uses the feather. It's going to get in position. That's a good position. You want to look at the tree branch, though. Okay, maybe that's what Gruggy's comfortable with, is just looking up. If he can do that one more time, we'll have enough momentum to be able to make it to the top. Well, depends on where he places his portal gun. And looks too far to the right. Again, with no real frame of reference there, it's going to be really tough to pull off. I feel like you can do the one where you just look straight up a lot easier if you're doing that head stomp position over by the bridge. But this one's really hard to do that with. I don't think that's really been explored a whole lot. And now Gruggy's down to 10 minutes, which still isn't the end of the world with his DPS. If Gruggy doesn't die, the Mithrix fight overall will be about 5 seconds. It all comes down to the skip, though. If Gruggy does end up with a DNF, that's going to be bad news, because not only is Gruggy going to need to at least, have equal points to Popcore, but it's going to need to have either Popcore DNF, Loadout 4, or is going to need, what would be the other thing? Either Popcore DNFs and Gruggy gets third, or Gruggy gets in second. I think would be the circumstances. And if Popcore does DNF, ooh. Oh, I think, yeah, because then there'd be tie on DNF, so it'd go to number of deaths. Gruggy would need to do the next loadout with less than 2 deaths. Alternatively, if Gruggy just finishes this run, we'll only have to rely on the deaths and not have Popcore go for the DNF or anything like that. Next loadout is Huntress as well, which is a pretty easy survivor. Even with low DPS, it's just hard to die as her. She works pretty well with items. But Gruggy is just struggling at this point, and it's almost like at this point, if you're going to have like a 3-minute Mithrix fight, if you just do a couple pillars, like every enemy you encounter instantly dies, you could just do some pillars. Yeah. Yeah, just pillar up, call it a day, get back to the pillar skips later. Because that was a solid, what, 5-minute time waste? 4-minute time waste? Okay, you gotta jump. Gruggy is clearly tilted from the double death, despite all the damage. Okay, is getting it down now? It's kind of annoying when you have, like, a feather and you're trying to do this. Because the feather jumps a lot higher. And you can't stand on the pillar there. There we go, Gruggy. I'm gonna just try and land, play a game of hopscotch. Yeah, there you go. If you double jump, you end up exiting the bubble. Gets it down. It's down to just 1 pillar. There is another pillar that could be used. Okay, gets a Warhorn. That's actually gonna be really good with the crit, the Ocular HUD. That's like double damage right there. Turn your Ocular HUD, which is originally like double damage, you add in the Needle Tick, or not Needle Tick, Shattered Spleen, and then you add in the Warhorn, and it's like, as long as you have the Ocular HUD up, you're doing like 20 times the damage. Of damage that's already insane. Oh god, taking a few hits from these exploders. Again, Gruggy cannot afford to die. If Gruggy dies once, it's over. Right, it's ended up taking like 5, 6, 7 minutes just trying to get to the Mithrix fight. It's going to be another at least a minute before the fight begins. Mithrix Phase 4 needs to be done. By the time posted. Which we don't know the exact time. Apparently Breach knew the exact time at the time of the recording. So the time that's up is only an estimate. I know that it's 35 something. It might be a 35:10. It read like a 50 to me. That's why I have it up at 75:50. It might be 75:10. Right, which would mean 6 minutes for the fight. Okay. Got both pillars done, did not die. As long as Gruggy doesn't die, we'll be able to do this. Here we go. It's Grug time. Grug versus Mithrix. Who wins? Well, I mean, Mithrix is literally instantly melting. Mithrix is melting faster than Gruggy's PC can. How about that? What a change of events. Pulls the no use switch. Oh, that was from the Ocular HUD. That's why I was doing that damage. Or was it? Does Gruggy have any normal crit? Oh, it has predatory. That's probably what's doing it. Right, 11%. Double predatory. It's like an extra... It's like 60% attack speed. It's pretty good. Phase 1 is done. It's on to Phase 2. Phase 2 is going to be even faster than that. Check this out. It's probably going to instantly use Ocular HUD the second he sees some wisps. Or not even. You don't even need to. They die. Like, it's already dead. Gruggy could just shoot at something for like 2 seconds and look away, because the plasma shrimps will just immediately annihilate as soon as they reach. Activated the HUD, and Phase 2 done. That was like 20 seconds. We were talking about how Gruggy had 6 minutes. Gruggy now has 4, is doing about 1 phase per minute. Can't die or it's over right now. But, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to die. When you have safer spaces where everything instantly dies, like Mithrix is going to die during pizza. As soon as that Ocular HUD procs, or activates. Gruggy's probably going to use it right about now. There it goes. You can tell from the bleed, and the bleed's kicking in, and... yeah. That was pretty good. Tries to get a phase 4 skip with the M1. That can't work, but they're very well done. Very nicely executed was Gruggy's singular pizza. Right, just has to do phase 4 without dying. Now it's going to be kind of scary. If Gruggy gets shot, he's instantly dead. Right, the plasma shrimp will proc bans. You cannot get hit if you're Gruggy. You can't get too comfy either with Mithrix going after the incinerator drone. Oh god. Oh, don't tell me. Oh god, it's gonna be close. Okay, plasma shrimp's back. I think Gruggy could be okay at this point. Just activate the Ocular HUD. You might as well. Yeah, he takes a shot here, but it's too late. It's gonna be safe. It's gonna be fine. Mithrix is dead. Gruggy's gonna be able to finish. So what does that mean? Between Popcore and Gruggy, there's about a 13-12 minute time gap. If Gruggy gets in 3rd place and Popcorn 4th and Loadout 2, let me think here. Yeah, Gruggy's going to have to at least do 12 minutes better, have the same number of deaths, and obviously, well, not DNF. That's not going to happen if Gruggy gets in 3rd. Alternatively, as long as Gruggy doesn't die and Popcorn does die, if Gruggy gets in 3rd place overall. As for Popcore, I mean, the same thing applies. If Popcore ends up getting it 4th, as long as he's deathless and at least not more than 12 minutes slower than Gruggy, we'll still get in 3rd. But GG, well played. No DNFs for a Roll Commando loadout, which is pretty exciting. Well played. I'll go ahead and hand out the gamble now, as we just go through the ship charge sequence. Who wins Commando? 31% of you said Tyler. That would be the right answer. It would have been Faku, but you got to remember that Tyler looks at the Mithrix shockwaves when they're landing and doesn't roll into them. Oh man, unfortunate. Man, Faku would be in such a better position here, right? I think we've been focusing on Gruggy versus Popcore for like the past 20 minutes. Yeah, let's not forget about the other story. Don't even question mark me, Faku. You weren't even looking at that shockwave. You just rolled right into it. He said, alright, it's time to die. The last possible second. Had the win in your hands. And opted for death. But surely you will make up for that in Loadout 2. Or will you? We'll find out. It's a 74 something, Gruggy. Let me look at the time again. Yeah, 74:01, I think. $74.03. All right. So that means 61:01, 74:03. I'm gonna have to keep track of that because it might be important. Let me actually just put that in chat right now. And then 61:01p, because you never know. It might come down to like a bunch of tiebreakers. We'll have to see. And the next loadout. Arrow Rain Huntress time. Which we have seen. I think it was it earlier in this week? No, I think it was week 6. It was an Arrow Rain Huntress loadout, and there was next to no damage on almost every racer. And it was really scary and really cope. But it might not be the case this time. I think even with Flurry, even with Arrow Rain, as long as you have Face Blink on Huntress, it still kind of plays itself out. You just take the items you get, and it's less about the skill of you as a Huntress racer or player, and more as how much do you know about picking up which items over others. How good are you at scouting maps? Do you choose to hit a blue portal or not? Right, those are the more important things that you see in a loadout like this. As we see Faku, I believe, went for a Blood Shrine, right? Is very confident as Arrow Rain Huntress or Phase Blink Huntress, more importantly. In his ability in dodging enemies, right? Pretty easy to play Huntress hitless. That's why she has such little health. That's why out of all of the survivors, she's one of the easiest and generally one of the first survivors for any player playing this game. I think she's a really good survivor, not so much for learning about like how do enemies work and how to like dodge their attacks, because I mean you don't really have to like predict anything. You could just be more reactionary instead of preventive. But she is good at teaching about how certain items synergize and how to loot, which we'll see a lot of that here. As there is a mountain shrine, that's something that they probably don't want to hit. Like if you get a Wandering Vagrant, it's going to be really annoying, right? Flurry Huntress. Yo, what up, Mayan? Thank you so much for the sub. Lost my streak for a ski day. You're going skiing and I'm just here casting the hosting league, the final loadout of the final race of the hosting league? At least you're here for this one. Thank you so much for the 5 months. Thank you so much for all you're doing with the reffing. I appreciate ya. But here we go. It is Wandering Vagrant for the TP boss. Thankfully, I don't think anyone hit Mountain Shrine. The problem with Vagrant on Huntress is you just get a bunch of those explodey orbs. Now, if you have, like, the laser, or the glaive, I think it's called the laser glaive, yeah. You could just throw that out, and it bounces between it and the Vagrant, which is fine if there's just one. But if you have 2 of them, then you have double the bubbles that are constantly chasing you, and it's really annoying, and you just constantly take damage, and then you die. Baku here, though, not having a single trouble at all. Right, already at 5 items, having hit the Blood Shrine. I think Tyler hit it as well. As I'm looking at the 27 curse there, I don't think Tyler's really been getting hit much. As for Popcorn and Gruggy, I don't think either of them hit the Blood Shrine. Popcorn does have $73 invested in a gunner drone. Might be helpful. Hopefully it doesn't die during the Vagrant, right? With such low DPS, it might be a little easy for that to pass away during the final portion of the Vagrant's health, as a Genesis Loop is the boss item, and Tyler immediately picks it up. Now, typically, I don't think it's a good idea to pick up yellow items on stage 1 immediately, right? There's never a yellow printer that you can find. And with any money that you have after TP, you could just go ahead and maybe find that recycler. Unless Tyler's thinking that Genesis Loop is the solution to this run. Which it could very well be, who knows? I think Faku thinks so as well. Having picked it up. Oh, the speed printer. Okay, yeah, hoof printer is found. Or not found, but it's been known about. And then Faku not only goes in for 1, but goes for 2. It's going to leave now. What is Faku missing out on? A armor-piercing round. That's unfortunate. As for Tylor, has the round, and everything else as well. Oh wait, no. Instead of a round, Faku has an repulsion armor plate. That could be good. With the Genesis Loop, it's actually kind of easy to kind of edge that out. Which, ooh, you know, it'd be so cool if Faku just goes right into the Void Seed and then purposely procs Genesis Loop. That could be neat. Easy way to clean that out. Vagrant's glooping on Popcore screen. Popcore dealing with a little Murray behind that rock. Gunner Drone's going to die, maybe. No, the Laser Glaive kicks in, and that's going to be good. Popcore is safe. Ends up getting the gloop. Gruggy, meanwhile, already done with the TP. Which, Gruggy, again, needs to beat Popcore by at least 13 minutes if he is to get in 3rd place. Otherwise, I mean, Gruggy's going to have to fight for 2nd. Tentabobble for Faku. From the Void Cradle, the other thing is a potential. And for Faku, in terms of healing, has nothing. A little bit in trouble if a Wisp or a Horde of Wisp pops out and he doesn't have the glaive. Might want to hold on to that as a result. Oh wait, no, just easy. There you go. You need survivability. Need AoE, just gloop it up a little. Get a little gloopy in here. Arch just found. Let's see what it is. Just another old guillotine. Nice. Always a good day when you got double guillotine. Oh, Faku is just breaking every pot. Has to be careful with that. You know what would suck is if you Genesis Loop and then you walk really close to a pot or teleport near one. Oh, Tyler got the right one. Tyler got safer spaces first before the Tentabobble. Right? There was another Void Cradle outside of the Void Seed. Gets the right Void item and has avoided having to wait for 5 hours before getting the other thing. Opts to actually go for a combat shrine. A few pesky wisps spawn in, but thankfully the laser glaive bounces correctly for him. Popcore and Gruggy both on stage 2 as well, though. We'll get to see what they choose to do. Gruggy's actually already done with the Void Seed. Man, that was a really easy one to go through. Gets a teddy bear. Might actually get a little lucky if he opts to go for one of those cradles. Or potentials. Could always block. Teddy bear blocks are not seeded. That would be really annoying to figure out. Could you imagine that if the teddy bear blocks, we like seeded them out? It's like, okay, if you have one bear, then the 7th hit, you don't take a hit and you block it. But if you have 2, oh, but then you'd have to like seed every single one out. Oh my god, that would be so annoying. You'd have to like, I mean, it'd be generated on the spot. Based on the seed, you'd have to like throw in the number of bears, and then based off of that, it would or would not block. And if you get a new one, then it'll just have to go to a new list. Oh, that would be so annoying. What are some other funny things you could seed? You could seed... I don't know, but Tylor's trying to hide from the Stone Titan laser. Takes a few hits. Again, doesn't have a repulsion armor plate like Faku does. And Gruggy died. Gruggy died before even hitting the TP. I'm not sure what that was from. But it was death. Hopefully it wasn't from a pot. That would be really embarrassing. Surely I won't go back after watching this and double check to see if it was or wasn't. Oh, glooping away is Popcore. Oh, at 3 health. At 3 health. Needs to hide from the Titan Laser. Is going to die. Oh, if it even peeks out once. If one tiny bit of fall damage, if anything happens to Popcorn, it's death. Popcorn needs to survive long enough to get a Genesis Loop proc out and needs to make himself known to the world when it comes out. Doesn't need to be anywhere close to any pots per se. Successfully takes down the giant, takes down the Stone Titan. Guillotine number 2 is found on Gruggy. And that was a close call. Now, here's what needs to happen again. Even if Gruggy gets in 3rd place and beats Popcorn, with that extra death, if Popcorn has less deaths, right, that's the next measure, because there's several tie-breaking measures that are used when determining tiebreakers outside of 1st place, right? If it's a 1st place tie, then we do another loadout, but usually we see, like, people tied for, like, 1 point or 2 point in, like, 3rd place or 2nd place. And the first tiebreaker is, did they DNF it or not? Which neither racer had in the first loadout. So if neither of them do it this time, then we move on to the next one, which is deaths. And deaths, each racer had 2 deaths in the loadout one. But Gruggy has another death here, now at 3, and Popcorn didn't die during this stage, right? So Popcorn's got that advantage in hand. Faku finally getting the safer spaces, by the way. There's a crowdfunder? Oh, there is. It's okay. Problem with crowdfunder early game is that you need your money to get items so that you can actually deal damage. And money isn't really an abundant resource until stage 4. Sometimes even stage 5. And even then, again, every penny that you're spending is a penny you're not going to keep. So you only really get to have it during a Mithrix fight. Going down to the Elders now, though, is Tyler. Having rolled the pot successfully. And Faku left the game. Maybe wasn't super happy about that. Maybe was thinking, did Faku roll the pots and just leave? Why did he pause a bunch? He was clearly not happy. Maybe because of no Prion. Maybe he knew about Rally Point Delta at stage 3, wasn't happy with the time? I'm not sure, but Tyler got both bans. I'm almost surprised that none of the racers, like, speed ran for bans on stage 2 and to speed running for stage 3 Prion. Maybe it wasn't possible given the loadout being Arrow Rain Huntress. Popcorn's still rolling. Okay, now you want to go up on the rock. You don't want to, like, try to go on the side that Popcorn's going on because there's this lip. And it's hard to get the pot over this lip if you just keep running into it. And then if you try to run over the pot, then you kickflip it and it goes flying. So you have to, like, roll it while standing on the rock, and that's something a lot of people don't do. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, just go on the rock. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no. There we go. You could eventually get it that way, too. Fireworks found in Faku. That could be a little bit of enemy clearing pre-TP. Makes the whole fight a little less difficult and annoying, given that there's not really much AoE options for Faku outside of Genesis Loop. Hopefully Faku doesn't have to rely on that. Tyler, meanwhile, does have an AoE solution. It's very hard to proc said solution, but if the glaive bounces enough times, then it generates the fire tornado, and anything that walks in said tornado is going to get hurt. Tyler goes for tri-tip. Oh, that's going to be nice with Crowdfunder. Again, both Faku and Tyler have a Crowdfunder, and Faku actually finding a AoE solution. Getting a gasoline is going to make this a whole lot easier for him. It's going to go ahead and activate TP, feeling a lot safer. Says, I've got a gas, I can probably go through TP just fine. It's the Chance Shrine. Oh, a Chance Shrine that also gives bleed. Hopefully Tyler finds that Chance Shrine. Shrines aren't exactly the most ideal things to go into. There's a Mocha and a Focus Crystal. Popcorn goes into Mocha number 2. Popcore was actually the only racer not to invest in the goat hoof printer on stage 1. Has 2 AP rounds though, much like Tyler. Also has 2 wraps, right? Much like Faku's 1. And Tyler's 1 and Gruggy's 1. There's a little more defense there. Perhaps was enough to save him earlier. When he went down to 5 or 6 hit points, and oh my god, did anyone just see that up in the top right? Gruggy had the pot on the button and then accidentally rolled it out. Gruggy, 15 minutes, still on stage 2. Same with Popcore, but neither of them have gotten the bans, and I kind of actually fear that if they go down to the Elder fight with such low DPS, yes, they are a pretty high XP level at least, they might die. I don't want them to die to the Elders. I saw a little cursor traversal there from Breach. And, okay, Elder fight. Elder fight, Faku fighting Magma Worm as well. Don't want to get spiked by that or you instantly die. Elder fight's going okay for Popcore, but the Glacial one, Ronald, suddenly jumps like 50 meters high. Hello. Look at that. Is it because of the Tensa Bobble he's jumping that high? It must be the Tensa Bobble. He's hopping. Guess when you got legs that are 5 meters tall, you can use them. Guess it only makes sense. Crowdfunder found as well for Gruggy in that Chance Shrine. And I actually kind of fear for Popcore. Popcore, who got both bans. I mean, only $185 probably isn't going to run back all the way to the place where the Tensa Bobble is. And, ooh, oh wait, no, at least going to get the safer spaces. There was another Void Cradle, and Popcore's going to go for that. Right, healed up enough time during the Elder fight. Just getting that there. There we go. Safer spaces kicks in, 16 minutes, going to be leaving. Just a little bit faster than when in full leading, I guess. Right, it's still a whole death ahead of Gruggy. The only person that Popcore really doesn't want to win this race would be Gruggy, for that matter. Right, if Faku wins or Tyler wins, that means literally nothing to Popcore in terms of standings. If Gruggy wins and gets bonus points here, can potentially take the whole race. You don't want that to happen. So right now, if you're Popcore, you're watching this, you're like, okay, this is good. What do you want to see? Sorry. There's a Void crit on the stage 4 TP. Which is probably not something you want that much. Oh, there's a gut puller to many. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look out. Here they come. Another one spawns in. A natural spawn. And that's annoying. Because now you gotta figure out, how do I deal with these while I stand inside the TP? There's also an overloading one. It's almost kind of good that you have Arrow Rain. Look at that damage on Arrow Rain. Okay. A lot of people talk smack about it, but at the very least, I think that's doing way more. For Faku, who doesn't have any bans, doing way more than what a Ballista could. Now, obviously, eventually, when it comes down to single target damage, you're going to do absolutely nothing when there's an overloading one in there. Oh, it's a Gup event. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't see the strawberry message in there. There was a brilliant Behemoth. Behemoth taken on Tyler. Says Rip Feather, Lost Feather. The feather that Popcore just found. Honestly, I don't hate the blue portal idea. Not on a loadout like this, right? Or DPS is really, really, really bad. It's really easy to gain access to Newt with a loadout like this. Because you have Phase Blank, you're Huntress, you're super fast. It doesn't take too much time out of the day, and There's always a chance that you get something like what Tyler just got, right? Finding that behemoth, the behemoth that immediately is being rewarded as there's a gut horde of many. Tyler, who also found that other bleed, is at 2 bleed daggers with a crowdfunder. Aku's only at 1 bleed. So Tyler's got it pretty easy with a Gup event. As like infinite money can pretty much have full uptime with the crowdfunder. And I was talking smack about crowdfunder not really having much money. There is an exception, and that is when the strawberries happen. Strawberry event, which is a little over 2% of runs have it. Right? 1 in 50 Sky Meadow was a Gup event. And then there's like a 1 in 3 chance that you have the like 1 in 150 or Abyssal Depths. Wait, no, it could be Lemurian or Gup, I think, on Depths Prelude. Oh, there's a Resonance Disc as well. Oh, no. Oh, that's not good if you're Faku. Faku still has to charge this whole TP. Is doing okay because Huntress, right, can dodge and bob and weave and all that. And it's pretty nice, but, I mean... Oh, and a Watch Printer as well. Oh, you don't want to blind print too much if you're Tyler. I think he realizes that. So he goes for Egg before T... that's interesting. Okay. Maybe he might go back for it. I feel like, again, Shatters or Crowdfunder might be just a better play in the moment. With a Gut Port of Many. Maybe he's thinking about getting stuck right once a way out without a feather. So again, the frame rate's kind of tanking a little bit. I do apologize. The technical difficulties. There is another Bleed Dagger inside the TP. We'll have 3 as well. And with safer spaces, I mean, you already got a Pillar Skip. So Egg isn't really doing that much, and I think Faku realizes that as well. Right? It's going to have double bleed. Leaves the bleed out on the ground. It's probably thinking about that Watch Printer. Faku, who successfully did the TP without dying. Tyler's having an easy time. Probably not thinking of Crowdfunder because of Resonance Disc constantly proccing. And there's bans. How are the other two doing? Now let's see. Well, Tyler's is just having a breeze of a TP event after Faku struggled for like 3 or so minutes. We have Popcore, who hasn't already did the TP. Opts for a Mocha over Energy Drink. Again, movement speed, you don't need too much on Huntress. Maybe going a little bit for more DPS. But personally, I usually don't go for attack speed much on Huntress. There's Bleed Dagger number 1. Again, Popcore does not have Crowdfunder. Right, ended up not going for that Chance Shrine like the other racers did. We'll eventually get an Egg on stage 4. Might end up getting that Resonance Disc as well, but there's going to be a lot of Gup and a lot more Gup. Oh no. Oh, did you see it? Oh, the Bison, bottom left, rewind if you're watching on YouTube, or go ahead and clip if you're on Twitch. As Faku prints away the only bleed. Guess it's just going all in. Focus fully on watches at this point. Popcorn's Bison was just sliding. It didn't have the walk animation. It's really funny when it happens. I don't know what triggers it. But there's this chance that sometimes the enemies just kind of like flip out of their walking animation. It'll happen sometimes for Lemurians as well. Or they'll just start sliding. They'll go in ice skating. There we go. Popcorn done with pretty much everything. Just needs to leave. Same with Gruggy for that matter. Very similar paths, although Gruggy again has that extra death. But Gruggy has the Crowdfunder and found bleed number 1, which could be good. Found the feather. Okay, everyone found the feather. Stage 5. Okay, no Gup event this time. Right? Why am I only seeing Gup? Okay, no, there's something else. There's something else. We also see a Bottled Chaos on Tyler. Huge. Giga value, dare I say. Did Tyler get a Mending Elder Lemurian? Faku got one. What's going on? Uh-oh, we're getting typing? Really? Something. Sweet strawberries, okay. Tyler, you got mending. Yeah, you got the mending up. Faku has a whole elder. Thankfully, the game gave 3 old guillotines, though. Make it a little bit easier to deal with, as the elder did not fall off the cliff, unlike the gup. And Tyler finds Tentabobble number 3? Is that the 3rd one? Alright, we got Popcore pausing. Oh, is that a red question mark? No, it's white. Okay. So, I mean, I would say Gruggy and Popcore aren't as far behind as they were in the first loadout. Right? It's not like there's a bunch of deaths or anything like that, or... you know, it's not a 2-stage differential, right? Only behind by 1. But they gotta have to go through this whole strawberry event, and Popcore's gonna have to do it itemless, right? Popcore's gonna need to find the Resonance Disc. It's gonna need to... Oh, this is some speed. Needs to not lose the feather. Right, not that it's really possible to have that happen. It's going really deep in the watches, okay. Might as well when you don't have crowdfunder or any other setup. And hiding behind the little TP spike is Tyler. Finishes off the grandparent. Gets a Gore's Tome. Same tome that Faku also has, because they're both on the stage 5 TP. The Resonance Disc needs to be found for Popcore. Gruggy can at least use the crowdfunder with 1 bleed. It would be cool if Gruggy found bleed number 2. But it's like infinite money, because there's Gup. I believe is the red item from the legendary chest, is that the bottle chaos? I'm not sure. Yes, it is? Okay. And then, is that small damage chest in the middle of the map the Resonance Disc? Because I know Faku and Tyler found it. That is something that, again, Popcore is going to need to have, or it's going to be Giga Cope throughout the TP event. From the damage chest? Okay. And that's in the center of the map, which I'm surprised neither have gone for yet. Volcanic Egg found for Popcore there. There's a get out of Gup free card, in the case that he is going to land in 1. And Faku's on the moon. 26 minutes, close to 27. Has 7 watches. I think, is that 2 or 3 stickies? Something around there. Has a crowbar, and a few focus crystals, and an AP round. So it's just going to go for raw damage. But again, the void items were of the following. I mean, you can see Faku hovering over it constantly. You can see, yeah, there's a resonance on Gruggy. But you can see him constantly just looking at it. And it's like, man, why couldn't there be anything else other than Tentabobble? Just Tentabobble, and I think there was more than 1 spaces. There might have just been the 1. But here's the damage item. Oh, wrong damage chest for Gruggy, because, well, Gruggy already has it. It's going to get bleed number 2. That's going to help a lot with crowdfunder. And once Gruggy activates the TP, which he does right here, oh, ends up getting void crit. Okay. That's only a problem if there's any other crit throughout the run, which, looking at both Faku and Tyler's inventories, there is none. So, made the right call there. And Overload and Gup Horde many are actually already almost dead thanks to Resonance Disc for Grug. Oh man, I mean, Popcore's got like $4,400. Just needs to, even more watches. Maybe just trying to think, if I only have enough watches, maybe I'll be fine, or something. Is not gonna get the legendary chest, let alone the small damage chest in the bottom of the stage in the dead center. right? The Resonance Disc. Look at Gruggy. How easy of a time with Resonance Disc that Gruggy's having. Finds the other Bleed Dagger. Again, not really important for Popcorn, who doesn't have the crowdfunder. But while we're focusing on that, let's switch our focus back over to Faku versus Tyler. In terms of real time, Tyler is about 14, 15 seconds ahead. Right, so Faku has a slight advantage on that. There's an extra 15 seconds to get to the ship over Tyler in terms of real. Tyler, meanwhile, failed the host skip, I think. He's looking through, trying to find some other stuff. Tried to, like, pull out a base, doesn't get the base. Wait, no, didn't even try that. Looked at the soup, didn't find any good soup. It's coming up. Now, the good news for Tyler is that Tyler has a brilliant behemoth. Tyler has no feather. He has one watch. How much watches do Faku have? Faku has like 3. 3 and a feather. So it's going to be pretty hard for Faku to die or lose those watches. But if he does lose them, right, huge disadvantage. Pretty much any chance that Faku has of winning this race is gone. And here goes Tyler. We're going to land a arrow rain on the center. And, well, the bubble protects the Frix and nothing happens. Just kidding, 10 damage happens. Faku's almost done with phase 1. But it's going to be pretty tough when there's a bunch of enemies and a bunch of AoE or ads and stuff. Right, no Behemoth in there. Behemoth is just straight up 60% damage. No bans either for Faku. Not able to skip phase 4. Not that. No, wait, no, Tyler could do it with Volcanic Egg. No Bottle of Chaos either. So not able to get things like random ocular HUDs like Tyler just did there. Faku needs to get in first place in order to have a chance of winning this race. If he does finish first and Tyler gets in second, well, it's a tie-breaking round. Looks like Popcorn's actually having a pretty easy time charging TP. It must just be the watches with the Fireband and the AP rounds. Back when the enemies were still bosses. So not bad. Has a little bit of Rock Chain, right? Double Sticky Bomb on top of Ukulele. Oh, Tyler is really catching up. Already almost done with phase 1. Huge, huge damage. It's close. God. Faku, though, already halfway done with phase 2. I feel like phase 2 is going to be a little bit easier, given the crowbar and well, given the fact that there's only a finite number of enemies you can bounce your glaive during this time. You don't have a bunch of other things that are taking up your aim with the auto aim on Huntress. Tyler gets a what are those things called? Primordial Cube from the Bottle Chaos. Oh, you know it'd be huge right now if Tyler just uses the egg and rolls a Prion. And just blasts it out. Nope, gets Supermassive Leech. And gets absolutely no value from it. From the Giga non-existent healing. Cool. Faku almost done with phase 2, about to be on phase 3. If Faku keeps this pace up, is still probably going to be able to beat Tyler. Tyler's slowing down a lot during this phase. Even with the Behemoth, even with everything else, is trying to go for the Bridge Tech, which Bridge Tech is good, but Bridge Tech has its... Oh, there's a Prion. There's a Prion. We were talking about it earlier. Get some zaps. Oh, look at that damage. Nicely done. Deals with all the wisps. Gets a Resonance Disc out of it. Nice. And that is exactly what Tyler needed. Needed a little bit of RNG to carry him ahead a little bit. Here we go. Tries to roll something else there. I think it's Ocular or HUD. Yes. Which is going to be really nice for dealing with these golems. Takes care of those. Now just a couple exploders. Last Exploder's about to die. But while all of that's going down, Faku is almost done. Right? Has Mithrix down half. If both racers are deathless and Faku continues to play at the pace he is, it's going to be a tie. We're going to have a tiebreaker. Otherwise, as Tyler is also almost on pizza time here. If Tyler wins this, we'll just instantly win overall. There will be no tiebreaker, and that will be the hosting league. The league will be done. It'll be complete. The last loadout, the last race. We'll see. Wait, there was another pre on Tyler. Really? Oh no! Tyler breaks a watch! And gets hit. Thankfully had one-shot protection and pulls out a Genesis loop. I guess that's kind of nice. But, oh, that's not good. Again, with a little bit of lag, kind of hard to commentate on what's going on. I hope you can see between the frames here and understand the overarching image as Faku up in the top left is doing what seems to be the last pizza. Not sure if there's going to be a death, if there's going to be a hit. There isn't. Faku's going to be fine. But Tyler, again, with no feather, is going to have to deal with Mithrix here. But still a bit of a fight to go. Can have a chance to pull off a phase 4 skip, though. Would involve a volcanic egg over the center of the arena. Pulls out some fireworks with the... Oh, another Ocular HUD kicks in. Gets in some more shots. Needs to be careful not to get hit too many times. Loses the safer spaces. Is going to deal with one final iteration of pizza. And meanwhile, Faku is going to deal with phase 4 Mithrix. If Faku can do this, and be done with the fight before Tyler by 15 seconds, we'll get in first. Just needs to not die. Thankfully, Genesis Loop is one of the first few items. Doesn't have to worry about that. Tyler's done, but needed to have a phase 4 skip to have any chance of beating Faku. I think if Tyler did a phase 4 skip here, would have been fine. Could try and get some fireworks out. No, not even. Not even. Here we go. There's an AP round printer that Popcorn's going for. Still on stage 4. Gruggy's on stage 5. Has a Void Touch Gut for some reason. Oh, Tetabubble, that's right. Faku's done. Tyler is not. And as of now, assuming no deaths happen, I think we're going to see, in the final loadout of the final race in the hosting league, we're going to be seeing a tiebreaker. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and all... Oh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the bans are back. There's no way that Tyler can even die at this point. Literally nothing can kill him, right? He has a safer spaces bug. Does Faku have the bug? I'm not sure. He's too good at dodging. He's standing still, so that indicates yes. Phase 4 finally done, right? Flurry, Phase 4, Huntress with Arrow Rain. It's tough. Tyler opting. This is like the newest, hottest tech out of the oven here with the volcanic egg. I don't even like talk about it anymore. I should mention it. You can no clip out of the arena with volcanic egg on that specific ramp, and then you can just get to the Mithrix ship. You don't have to go through a portal. You don't have to wait for the portals. That's all you have to do. And just go boom, boom, leave. The second that Mithrix runs out of health, you don't have to wait for anything to pop up. It's really fast. It's faster than... Is it faster than basing to the ship? I'm not sure. I think it depends on the movement speed. You just like egg and then immediately egg out. But 32:10, the final time or 37:10, my bad. Final time for Faku. Faku, who was not only faster on screen, but also in terms of in-game time, was 15 seconds faster, right? Started a little bit later. And Tyler's gonna be off by probably about a minute. As Popcorn misses picking up that movement speed item. Unfortunate. We'll see what, yeah, let's see what Popcorn has cooked up. That's a good point. Just want to see what the final time here is for Tyler before I bring it down just to the two screens. Faku with a 37:10, And Tyler with a 38, was that like a 38-11? I can't quite tell. I'll have to double verify that after the cast, but that's going to bring it up for a tiebreaker round. But before we get to that, which holy moly, it's happening. I would say holy something else if I could. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. There we go. Let's go ahead and hand out those points, but we have another race between these other two racers. Right, this tiebreaker wouldn't even be happening, by the way, if it wasn't for the shockwave at the way into Phase 3 for Faku in the first loadout. But between Gruggy and Popcore, right, in a race of their own, I'll go ahead and put up the time to complete. I believe it's going to be about like 75-11-ish. But Popcore's at 0 deaths right now. If Popcore just finishes the run and doesn't die, he wins. As for Gruggy, needs to win, needs to get in third place here over Popcore, and also needs Popcore to die at least once and be... I have it in chat earlier. Oh, I have it at 75-11? My bad. Yeah. That was 38. Should be 78. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Ty. Can't believe I tried saving you 3 minutes right there. That's a 12? Okay, we'll get the 1 second. You can like send me a screenshot of it, and I'll give you the 12. Otherwise, I'll just give the 11. But as for Gruggy and for Popcore, yeah, I had it earlier. Gruggy finished with roughly a 74.03 in the first loadout, and Popcore was a 61.01. And those two I actually had down. I could read them legibly. So Gruggy needs to have Popcore die at least once, and needs to win by at least, what is that, 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Now that we know there's a tiebreaker, Breach made us stay and call with our stream stuff so nobody knew. Oh, wow. I mean, you don't need to have permission to do that. Or you don't have to do that, right? But, I mean, if you wanted to, you can fully do that. And you fooled me, because I did not think there was going to be a tiebreaker. I'm going to be honest. I usually try to, like... I mean, I don't actively go out of my way to try and, like, predict what's going to happen in races based on... if I, like, accidentally scroll by or see that people aren't in a call or are in a call. I purposely avoid my Discord during races. Oh, Gruggy broke watches. I didn't realize that. Uh-oh. But that's really cool of you guys. Let's go. Love to see it. Time to complete. 78-11. Both racers certainly far away from that. Their build's certainly pretty good. Good news for Gruggy, it wasn't 8 or 9 watches that were printed, it was only 2. Gruggy has 2 focus crystals. Has some goat hooves. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's death. That's a death. That's a death for Popcore. Down on the over at the right side. Popcore takes a death while trying to charge the TP. Loses all of those watches. And now is in a really bad spot. The good news is, though, the good news is that it was a balance between AP rounds and watches. So as for Mithrix, as for the Mithrix fight, so long as this TP can be charged, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world for Popcore here. Gruggy's dealing with a perfected Chimera Exploder. Is clearly going to get a perfected aspect. Nope. Tries to dance skip, doesn't land it. It's like, okay, that's fine. I will not stand on top of a soup setup and try to skip pillars with base. And that's another death for Popcore. Oh no. That's really bad for Popcore, but if you're Gruggy... oh, man. I mean, Popcore was struggling for a while. Again, didn't have the crowdfunder early on, not that it was really needed to be used that much. But Popcore didn't get... oh, wait, no, did get the Resonance Disc. Took a while, though. Took a little bit of time for that, right? Ended up being a little bit further behind as a result. As for Gruggy, doesn't have egg, actually has blast shower. Is Gruggy gonna try to host skip? Probably not after the first loadout. Gruggy's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, it's gonna lose 5 green items. They were all garbage. Still has feather. Yeah, oh my god, what a gamble for Gruggy. I mean, if that was the normal... Oh no, he's standing in the dance spot. Gruggy, what are you doing? Get out of there. Oh no. At least there's host skipping. Yeah, that was a really lucky soup there. Could have lost feather, could have lost a band. Instead just lost like stealth kit and guillotines and goes for another skip. Just really doesn't have that spot down. Needs to watch the cap video, the tech discovery. Oh. It was 37-10. Oh right, I was looking at Tyler's. LOL. I'm sorry. I just automatically assumed that Tyler was going to win, because he always wins. Yeah, it's Faku's time. My bad. Faku was the first placer. Gruggy is full-on dance skipping right now. It's like a hybrid dance skip of like, okay, I don't know how to host skip, but I'm just going to stand in the dance spot. This is exactly where Dan stood at. And we all made fun of him for like literally a year, which is honestly way too long to make fun of somebody for one thing that happened, much like the one time I died of fall damage like 4 or 5 times in one day. And then suddenly, literally everyone just started assuming I only die of fall damage. But here goes Gruggy. Going all out. Right, could have probably done both pillars by now. At least it's with a blast shower, right? It could be worse. Gruggy could be using like a Gubo Jr. and waiting 2 minutes every single time. Got a tech name after you, though, which is cool. Yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, ooh, what if I just capitalize on the host skip? And then I make the hosting league. Ooh. Name recognition. Yeah, if you're gonna go full Dan, Gruggy, you gotta at least have a good spot for the Danning. Uh-oh, that's not gonna be good. It gets a Freon, though. And while all of this is happening, I mean, Popcore can deny Gruggy if he just beats him, right? Even with more deaths, if Popcore wins, gets in 3rd place overall, gets 1 point, goes up to 2. It's another Bleed Dagger and a Wax Quail. Oh my god, I could go for Chipotle right now. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. That's on me. Gruggy is literally just dance skipping. Oh my god, this is... I never thought I would see it again. I thought it was so ingrained as to like, don't do this. And the gambler's policy continues. You know what they say, 99.9% of gamblers? I don't even gotta finish the rest of that. Chat tells me it all the time whenever I'm at a chance shrine. But right here, right now, Gruggy is fully living by that philosophy. Next one will be the one. This was gonna be it. Nope, DML. Gruggy could have tabbed out, watched Cap's video, and learned how to host in this time. Yeah, just pull it up. Oh man, I don't even. Would that be allowed? I know you're not allowed to like pause the game for that, but I guess if you just tab out and watch the video, you could kind of figure it out that way, right? I don't think it says anything about watching YouTube when you're racing. Oh, man. You getting mentioned in Dan's new videos, the most famous I'll ever be? I remember, I think I ended up in one of the chat messages in Race's first video, the one with the perfected hunt, which has like 250,000 views. It's actually insane. You as a chatter on Twitch, here on twitch.tv/gamerage_0st, or even outside of this, I mean, just with your like name being in there, you never know. This video could randomly, like 5 years down the line, get 50,000 views, 500,000 views, 5 million views, and you'll just be a name in there, and everyone will forget you and like not even focus on you. But that'll be like 5 million people looking at your name. Although, I mean, if I'm being real, probably like 99% of them would probably click out of the video within the first 5 minutes. If it's, I mean, this content's just so niche. I highly doubt they would stick it through to the second loadout of 3 loadouts anyway, for that matter, given that this is a highbreaker. But here you are, and again, I'm just kind of BSing, talking around as Gruggy. Oh, holy. Yo, Mayan, coming in with the 200 bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Why every single scene I have Streamlabs in this weird corner? I have to fix that. But I always refuse to for some reason. Come on, Gruggy, you can do it. Now, you can't actually fully host skip off of that spot. Which I don't know if Gruggy knows that. Maybe you could do it with like a Prion boost or something. If like, right, I remember testing this when I first learned about host skip. I remember testing with Prion, like, ooh, I wonder, can I do this bounce if I have a Prion accumulator and just like shoot every time? And, you know, doing all sorts of stuff. I didn't even use this spot right now, though. The one that Gruggy's using. I used the spot that is literally not even in textbook because it is so cursed and so situational that you can only use it for headset skipping and for railgunner skipping item without any mines. And during the time that Gruggy's been trying to land the dance skip and could have just done pillars. I mean, again, the gambler's policy is, well, I could do pillars for 2 minutes, or I could host skip right here and get it down. But Popcore's in the fight now, right? And Popcore has a bunch of AP rounds. Gruggy's launches are broken. Gruggy doesn't have double death, right? Is 5 minutes ahead, and finally says, okay, screw this, I'm just gonna go for pillars. I'm not Dan. Imagine, you know what's gonna happen? Gruggy's gonna use the blast shower to kill enemies, and a base is gonna pop out. It's gonna happen. But this gave time as as egg is rolled, gets Gruggy out of the situation. Almost dead now though, trying to do pillars. All the enemies building up credits, right? Not ideal. I guess that's the other problem of doing a dance skip or doing an eggs or a host skip and failing many times is that eventually you do have to come back down, and when you do come back down, oh man, are the enemies a lot tougher? There's a lot built up. Usually, I'm surprised there's not like a perfected wisp. What's the white soup? That is stun grenade. Popcore, meanwhile, is halfway done with the fight. Or phase 1, anyway. Obviously, it's going to slow down a little bit now that Mithrix is teleporting back to the center of the arena every 20 seconds. Right? Mithrix is a lot slower of a fight if you have low damage. After that first quarter, if you have a feather, it's really annoying. It's really nice if he does that, though, if you don't have the feather. And it's like your only way of not dying is him teleporting back. Time to complete, again, is 77 minutes. So if there are some deaths on these Racers' ends, things could get a little bit bad. If Popcore DNFs and Gruggy finishes, it's just over. Gruggy wins straight up. For Gruggy to win this, again, has to finish either with less deaths, which he currently has, but also needs to get in first place. Or not first place, needs to beat Popcorn in this loadout. Popcorn gets smacked by Mithrix there. Does have the bottle chaos, rolls an egg. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's the equipment, his egg. It's not Blast Shower. Oh man, Gruggy's still just on Pillar 1. A lot of enemies. It's about to finish off that Wisp though. Uh-oh. 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 Do we see it? Do we see it? Is there a vase? No, just an egg. And Popcore with 2 deaths, 5 minutes behind Gruggy, is... I wanted to say it's done with phase 1, but no, not yet. Still has a bit to go. And Gruggy, who is going to make the tournament regardless of the outcome of this race, right, being in the 19th seed, is going to want to look back before the wildcard round, which is going to happen. Right, Gruggy most likely going to have to do the wild card, getting in 4th place if he does not win this. Now, I think Gruggy's guaranteed. Let me just look. Man, we still have a whole tiebreaker after this as well. But scrolling up, I'm looking. Gruggy... Yeah, because Mallard got in 3rd. It's at 14 points. Gruggy's at 11 right now. Yeah, it would only go up to 13. So yeah, Gruggy's going to be in the wild card no matter what. But to be able to have this win might be kind of cool. Might mean the difference between a 19th or 20th seed. Still hasn't rolled a vase, not even once. That was a super massive leech for Gruggy as Popcore is on phase 2. And it's just going to be pretty hard to die as Popcore. And oh no! Just as I said that. Gruggy takes a death at 66 minutes now. Even if Gruggy has equal number of deaths at this point... Oh, Popcore might die though. Uh-oh. Oh, you don't want to die for Popcore. Gruggy's down to 11 minutes to even finish this run. I don't know if he can do it. The lack of damages is just there. Both racers broke their watches. And I honestly even fear for Popcore a little bit. As he rolls a... what was that? Backup? Ooh. Hmm. Oh, huge value. Did you see it? Did you see the green? Did you see the health? A massive Lepton Daisy kicks in for Gruggy as he's charging pillar number 2. Finally back at it. And the sad thing is, again, I mean, just with the knowledge, Gruggy knows that these other things are out there. Knows about host skipping. Knows about bottled chaos can give vase. Right? It's with that knowledge that it backfired, right? Gruggy knows about the host skip, but can't really do it right now. Needs a refresher. I think I've seen Gruggy do it in the past. But here in week 7 of race 2, the loadout races, right? Already failed the host skip many times during the commando loadout, which in a lot of ways ended up costing him the run. But finally gets it. And so we're going to see a vase probably pop out as like the first thing out of the blast shower during the Mithrix fight. That blast shower might help. Like phase 2, phase 3. Get a lot more band procs out. Valkyrie Tyler tiebreaker? Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to happen. The winner of the tiebreaker? Let's see. If Tyler wins ends up 3rd seed. If Faku wins, Faku gets 4th. Which will be really nice. Mithrix Phase 3, is that already pizza time? Yeah, okay. So Popcorn's already in Mithrix Pizza. Oh, almost ate a slice. Be careful there. He's probably thinking about trying to get egg for band proc. There we go. Ends up missing both of them. Oh, was that a resonance disc from Gruggy? I think from an FMP. Very cool. Gruggy, who needs to beat Popcore and have Popcore die a bunch. I think in terms of deaths, they're tied. So Popcore needs to at least die once. Gruggy needs to die never. And then needs to finish this run. Popcore's pretty aggressive. I mean, you really have to at this point. Because every second that passes is going to be more enemies that spawn in. And with this H0s loadout, I mean, losing all the damage. Oh, there's a perfected. Are you kidding me? Safer Spaces kicks in at the last second for Popcore. Popcore doesn't die, but a perfected exploder now. Okay, hello. I see you there. Beat me to it. Trying to finish that one off. Yeah, you don't want that running around. The extra projectiles might end up being a distraction. Mithrix running up, gets a pizza slice, but doesn't hit. In huge danger. But it's fine. Perfect instead. I guess we have to remember that this is literally actually 1 hour in-game time for this run. Both racers have... Wait, is this an hour or is this only... Oh, it's close. Do they have 2 or 3 deaths? I can't tell. All I know is they have the same amount. At least 3? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, it's only 2? Okay. There's a lot of ads on there. But if it's 1 hour real time, that explains the perfected exploders. They can start spawning in around there. If you have really long runs and you get to phase 3, they'll start appearing and they're terrifying, right? Because the perfected shots, the little homing shots, they go at a different like trajectory. Even if you're going in a circle, they'll kind of mess you up a little bit. You gotta go in an even better circle to deal with those. A sinusoidal circle, I would say. Popcore holding Mithrix in place with the Tentabobble. Almost able to pull off a phase 4 skip with that. Might be thinking about egg skipping with the phase 4. Oh yeah, it's definitely doing it. It's gonna run in with a volcanic egg. Gets in there. Boom. Phase 4 skip. Boom. Well done. If Tylor did that, could have won the run. Popcore pretty excited about that there. And while Popcore's super excited, finishes off Mithrix, we have Gruggy, who still is on phase 1. Right, Gruggy's damage is really not that impressive, right? Only 1 AP round, no watches, has a couple focus crystals that need to be used. Whenever available, at least has a gummy huntress for the time being. Alright, most of Gruggy's damage comes from the fire ban and the ice ban off of last shower cooldown. That's going to be it for Popcore. It's going to be able to get in 3rd place for the loadout. As for Gruggy, might be able to get a completion. I don't even know. The damage is so poor. I don't even think Gruggy, if he's deathless, will be able to pull this off. And it might be another DNF, which I'm not sure. That may or may not make a difference in terms of seeding. We'll see. But well done to Popcore. It's going to be able to get this in, assuming no deaths. Fought long, fought hard, ended up with that death. Again, had Popcorn not broken those watches, probably would have finished this fight like 6 minutes ago. Would have been a breeze. Oh, man. There it is. Finishes off with one final volcanic egg. Gruggy gets fireworks. Ooh, gets a royal capacitor shot. Nice. But it does like no damage, because Mithrix is at 64-minute health scaling. And we'll see the final time pop up here in just a moment. For tracking's sake. There it is. It's like a 73-32. I think that's it. We'll go ahead and give Popcorn his point. Boom. Ends at 2. 2 completions, no DNFs throughout the race. Very nice. And now it's down to Grug. Gruggy, who's, I mean, this is the epitome of Flurry Huntress right here. I used to really like Flurry, and I used to really like Frenzied Leap, and all these abilities, like Supercharge even. But the problem with a lot of abilities, when you're thinking of, like, which ability is better than the other? Well, I like consistency, because consistency means I need less RNG to happen for me to have a good run. And here we see a run where the RNG is it's good, but not in any way, shape, or form that makes Flurry a good ability. Right? I think the only thing you can think of is like an equipment roll off of a Bottle of Chaos that gives Ocular HUD. You do slightly more damage for a bit. You do 4 times the M1 damage for 7 seconds. As opposed to 2 times. And yeah, I mean, there was a single crit. There was Void crit. That's it. And Gruggy now it's at 76 minutes. I think Breach is going to put him out of his misery early. Yeah. 77-10. There's no way that's going to be all of Phase 2, all of Phase 3. Gruggy's going to get a DNF. Well played for Grug. Again, had a lot of struggling on the pillar skip. Went full Dan. Which I respect the Dan. It's a good homage. It's been over a year. You know, you got to see it again. In case you forgot it. And, well, it's okay, 4th. But that's okay, because we'll still see Gruggy in the tournament. In the wild card, I'll have a time posted. I'll make like one of those event things on my Discord. Which feel free to join that, by the way. !Discord. But with that being said and done, let's go ahead and move on to the next loadout. 1v1. We got Faku on the left, we got Tyler on the right. Here we go. Siphon Forest. It's default Bandit. This is, I think in order to unlock this, you just have to, play 3 runs or something like that. Make it to stage 3. I forget what it is. It's whatever the old unlock for Huntress was. But we got 2 racers, 2 of probably some of the better racers, in my opinion, over on Risk of Resources. Some of the better racers we've seen over here in the Hosting League. Right, just 2 really top talent players. In Bandit. Right, it's not a setup like Loader, where we would see Faku absolutely dominate. Tyler, I wouldn't say has Giga Loader knowledge yet. While Faku does, but any other situation, I think it's a borderline of 50-50 between the 2. If Faku wins this loadout, he ends up getting in the 4th seed. If he loses this loadout, I believe Faku ends up in like the 7th seed. Right, so you really, really, really want to win this if you're Faku. And if you're Tylor, if you win this, you hold on to seed number 3. Right, had Goji gotten in 3rd place, had Klowski or Big D taken him down in week 7, this would be for number 2. Right, so if Tyler wins, holds on to 3. If Tyler loses and gets in 2nd place, I believe, ends up in like the 5th or 6th or something like that. Alright, so a lot on the line. Only one will end up with the optimal outcome. TP begins now for Tyler already with only a squid polyp and a backup. Holy!
I'm looping.
Yo, Disturby, thank you so much for the Giga sub. 5 subs? Better clap it out. Thank you. I appreciate you. You don't have to do that. I love having you here in the league and well, just giving back right there. I appreciate it. Got Globus, got Ample, Code, Penthouse, Dome. Enjoy the ad-free experience. Speaking of glooping, I don't know if that's going to be in the audio recording or not. I forget if that goes through internet or just through a different source. But here we are with a Genesis loop set, or not Genesis loop, Wandering Vagrant. I think the boss item is a Berserker's Pauldron. Yeah, so not a whole lot good going on right here. You got a backup, you got a Berserker's Pauldron, you got a Squid Polyp. There's a Lunar Pod next to the TP, that's useless. Useless on stage 1. Is there anything good? I think there might be a drone. As Tyler's trying to gauge some elevation out of that teleporter spike, trying to see if there's anything around. There's a wrap printer. But all the other loot's probably on like the other half of the map. Tyler done with the TP. Sees the drone, doesn't even want it. And it's a good call not to take that drone, right? You see it, a lot of people just think, okay, what are the closest things to the TP that cost $140 total? I will just grab those and I will immediately leave when I'm out. But having knowledge of that, you could just grab it on the way back if you really need to. Tyler getting a Predatory Instincts, that's pretty good for getting some reloads in. Shooting a little bit faster if you could land in those backstabs, land in those crits. There's another small chest. It's also... okay. It's like the least garbage item that's been found. And Tyler actually, with a little bit of discipline, goes for a large chest instead and gets Shuriken. Okay. We'll see what Faku does. Faku has an extra $60. Might be able to get all those items that Tyler got. And then some, right? Might be able to get that healing drone, for instance. Right, we look at some of the other stages, there is wetland, so you do have another chance, you do have another opportunity to be able to get a healing drone. Down the line, those drones are very good during the Mithrix fight. Good for getting Mithrix to turn his back. And was that chest already opened over by the printer? I'm surprised Tyler didn't go for it. It's just gonna opt to leave, doesn't even want the gunner drone. Okay. Let's see what Faku does. Has the same items. Goes for the chest. Oh, also has the healing drone. Okay. Very nice. Just want to show my appreciation for the league. I had a really good time and I wanted to succeed, so next time I can earn a damn point. Hell yeah. Disturby next season. Oh my god. I mean, next season I'll finish what I'm gonna say real quick, but I'm sure you're gonna do very good and gonna have a lot more time. But before the next league, I mean, it's probably gonna be a few months, at least probably like half a year or something. We'll be looking at Seekers of the Storm probably before we do the next one here. But there's an ATG printer at the way start of stage 4, and suddenly the items that were so garbage, so low tier, Squid Polyp, Berserker's Pauldron, Predatory Instincts. Oh, okay, hello, right on spawn. ATG, huge damage. And suddenly all that stage 1 was a really good stage 1 because it's set up for this, right? If there was next to no greens for Faku, next to no greens for Tyler, they would be having to search this entire stage looking for whatever greens they can get. Be like, okay, can I get some more? And maybe they'll do that, right? I'm surprised actually Faku keeping the Predatory and keeping the Berserker's Pauldron and not going all in. We'll see the reason maybe down the line as to why that is, but as for now, we see Beetle Queen as the TP boss, and Tyler's like, okay, I gotta win this. This isn't just try to get some points. This isn't just try to do as good as I can and maybe get second place. No, I want third. I want first, not third. I can go TP to TP. I've got a little movement speed. I've got the backup to provide some extra backstab damage for me, to be a little bit of diversion, a little bit of distraction. TP's activated for Faku. That was a smart play to stand over there to try and block the node. And if you don't block the node there and a boss ends up spawning there anyways, well then you can just stand there, be at the ready, get the boss killed, and then continue to charge TP behind your way. I feel like every other time the boss just spawns over there. Welcome in, Z-Boss. Hope you're doing well. Both racers try to see what's around. I'm still confused. I'm assuming the reason why... Okay. Oh, you know what it is. You want to know why Faku didn't go for more than just, like go all in or anything like that? Because why wait and waste all that time when you know you're going to get a green from the TP boss? You're going to get some other greens around the map, and then you can just go back there anyway. I'll see you later. Tyler going for ATG number 5. That's going to be all the ATGs, though. Goes for a Rusted Key, which will clearly be a pocket ICBM. Everyone knows it. And a Giga God Seed like this. It's only bound to get better, right? Will-O-Wisp, go back for the printer, maybe? No, doesn't want it. Fair enough. It's AoE damage, kind of. I don't really like one Will-O-Wisp. I feel like Will-O-Wisp is only really good after the first one. 2? Like, once you get to 2, you actually start dealing damage. But if you just have 1, it explodes and there's, like, nothing around it, and then it just does nothing. And then you say, well, I have AoE damage, clearly. Do you see the Wisp? And, well, the only AoE time that is AoE is when you have Cope, and then you have to bunch up 50 enemies and then have them all explode on top of each other. It could proc ATG, that's fair. If it touches any other enemies, it can do that. And it could get it multiple times. That's a fair point. And we'll see if Faku does the same thing. Right? Does Faku want the Wisp? Yes. Okay, so clearly it's just on me. These guys are Giga Pro Racers. And they are pro Will-O-Wisp. I'll just take their word for it. I'll take their strategy for it. I think it's a good idea suddenly. Because it's clearly on my own intuition. Because I think that... Not because I'm seeing them do that, and based off of that, I'm mending, or not mending. I'm aligning my opinions based off of theirs. Clearly, that is not the case. I'm an independent thinker, an individual. All right, stage 3. Bison Steak getting scrapped by Faku. You know what would actually be huge for him? Or, I mean, either Racer or Pocket ICBM would be amazing. But on Faku, who also has the firework? Ooh. That would be nice. Clay Dude Strider is the TP boss, by the way. And it instantly died. Or is dying, anyway, as Tyler has to step out of the TP for just a moment to run away from the Siphon. Definitely helps when you have, I believe that is 3 mochas and an energy drink. So you got enough movement speed as Bandit. You got enough damage as Bandit. There's a Meyer Urn. You've got all the healing in the universe, and then some. Urn a really, really good item. There's a crowbar that Faku goes out of the way for. There was a damage chest, a small damage chest, maybe hoping for something else. That could be good, though. You get some ATGs and they hit enemies at crowbar HP. during phase 2, that could be nice. Might be able to get a few snipes off of that. Faku a little bit behind of Tyler. Right. Still also doing an entire TP. But we'll see. This is Tyler's or Faku's time also to catch up, right? Because Tyler was looking around the map. It's like, ooh, should I loot? Maybe, maybe not. There's a healing chest at least if you want to go close. Personally, I would save that for the end if that was like nothing that I could get to in time to loot. Because it's like right on TP. Unless I'm just going to instantly leave and not even look underneath. If Tyler wants the leeching seed. Oh, there's a large damage chest. It is... No, well, okay. Squid Polyp. We saw an ATG hit the Dude Strider, by the way. It did like half its health. I'm assuming that was off of a Lights Out. Another blue portal. Back-to-back free blue portals. They're not taking a single one. They don't want it. Tyler just leaves. So is ahead, but is down a crowbar. And down an energy drink. I guess a firework? That's about it, though. Tyler also did not get the rusted key on that stage. So is now, in terms of seeding, of rusted lockbox seeds, because, you know, they are seeded in order based on stages of holding it, right? So if there's a rusted box, and then you get a key on stage 2, you go to stage 3, right? There's a box at stage 3. It's going to be the same item if someone gets a key on stage 1 and then has a box on stage 2. So it's like, every box is in order is going to be the same. Box number 1, let's say it's a leeching seed. Right, the first key box that is there will have that. But you can skip them. You can move on from them. And if you move on from them, then you end up missing out on that item. So for all we know, Faku could end up with a rusted key, could get to the next stage, and then get a pocket ICBM from the box. If I don't already have 4 ATG, I'm much more likely to take a Wisp. Some point, percent damage increase isn't worth that much. That's true. I agree with that. I think we saw that earlier, right? There were some racers that were like, ooh, I have 9 plasma shrimp, but what if I had 11? Right, and at that point, I mean, you print an extra one, it saves you like 2 seconds in the whole run. So we see Breach's cursor pop up there for a second. Okay, it's gone now. Yeah, they're going fast. Faku immediately left as well. So it's going to be Faku's chance to be able to catch back up. Tyler obviously has an additional, like, $1,600. However, Faku has killed all the pre-spawns, a bunch of elite wisps and stuff. It's going to be able to loot up a little bit before activating TP. It's another Will-O-Wisp. Okay, that's good. And then it's an Opal. An Opal that Faku had earlier. And Red Whip. Red Whip is the second key item. As we see... Is that a Magma Worm? Yeah, Magma Worm's the TP boss. And Faku and Tyler are head-to-head right now. They have like $30 difference. In terms of real time, though, our in-game time, Tyler is 10 seconds behind. So everything that Faku does, just assume that... Right, a little bit of a lead on that. It could come back. I mean, with how head-to-head, neck-to-neck that these two racers have been the whole time, right, could be a big difference. Oh, Faku found a skip on stage 3. Oh, yeah, that's huge. LOL. Yeah, I should probably point that out. That's tremendous. There's also a feather as a TP boss, though. That's good. So, okay. That changes everything, because I wasn't even paying attention to Faku's equipment. And now with Faku having Milky Chrysalis, right, having that pillar skip, Tyler is going to spend a lot more time trying to find that skip, perhaps, if there is even one. Right, with 5 ATGs, if you make it to the moon at 20 minutes, not a big deal, if the other guy doesn't have a skip. At the very least, they got a decent amount of movement speed. Right, Tyler has Red Whip, 3 Mocha, 2 Energy Drink. Worst case scenario, does like double Soul Pillar or like some Blood Pillars or something. Has a wrap, so blood won't be too big of a concern. But that's still like a 2.5 minute time loss, which sucks. Oh, there's an adaptive chest. Faku sees it. There's a fire band as a third item. I almost wonder if Tyler's going to look for pillar skip and skip over the fire band. Yeah, it keeps going. Wants it. But as things start speeding up a little more, ends up getting Shuriken. Shuriken's going to be nice with ATG procs. Like, really nice. Gonna add a lot more in there. Faku, meanwhile, on stage 5, right? Doesn't need to think about looking around for skips. Tyler just looting up while searching. Right, still has to be on the stage, still has to look around. Sees, I believe, a focus crystal printer. Gets a syringe, gets... Oh, here's an equipment. It could be good. It's a recycler. Rerolls. Radar. But a recycler is going to increase the odds of finding that skip, which is good. There is also a void seed. Uh-oh. A void seed on stage 5. This could be either really good for Tyler, a chance for him to catch up and have that skip, or... Right. Oh, wait, we saw... I can't tell, I can't read what the equipments are. There might be another chrysalis. I can't read Spanish that well. I have, like, the Spanish reading skills of a second grader. So, not ideal. And let alone throw in items of fantasy. Right, I don't know how to read the word will-o'-the-wisp in Spanish, for instance. Oh, Safer Space is rerolled immediately. But Tyler almost got wrecked. Had to rely on invisibility to pick that up as the Squid Polyp got infested. Here we go now. I mean, they both have a skip. Tyler needs to find a way to use Mired Urn and just work his way to the TP. Faku's already done with the TP. I believe a band was the TP item. So it almost looks like somehow Kajaro and Ronald found their way up on the stage 5 based on the items that we see in Faku's inventory. That's huge. Fireband from stage 4 has the skip. But an ice band. And Tyler's actually going to opt to deal with the Zai construct before even activating. It's about half health right now, but... Right, every second that Tyler doesn't activate TP is a second that he's falling behind. Faku's almost done. Oh, uh-oh, 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 oh. Did not get Void Touch from that. Lucky. Saw the Void Elder and knew when to dip out. Okay, and Faku's on the moon. 19 minutes. 19-minute moon. Normally, we don't see this from them. Normally, they're a little bit more relaxed on how they race here in the hosting league. With common skill gaps, but up against each other. Here in a tiebreaker. Winner takes all. It's all or nothing. Tyler ends up re-rolling into a... What was that? A bottled elixir? And gets Firework. And leaves. Oh wait, no, not leaves. Activates TP. Now, that would be good if Tyler left right now. Nope, has to do a whole TP event. It's really good damage though, clearly. It's that Ice Band. We'll have a chance to be able to get a new equipment from that terminal over there, but it has to deal with the Void Touched Elder. Here we go. Hello, Void Elder. Thank you for standing still. It's very kind of you to do that. And not enough speed for Faku. If Faku had that rusted key and got the red whip, I think it would have been enough. That's a -1 minute. As Faku's gonna have to wait. Personally, I would just spam the shift up at the top to be able to get into the arena faster. Faku's just gonna sit back. And now we get to see the typing. Let's see what Faku types to us in the next 20 seconds. Is Faku talkative today? No. It's supposed to show us the items, though. Honestly, gotta give it to Faku on that. Keeping it silent. Keeping it cool. It's readying up. It's getting ready for the big fight. Here we go. Gets into the arena. It's closing in on Mithrix a little bit to save a little bit of time. Ooh, ukulele is found. Tyler, that is actually not that useful, unfortunately. Opal's found. Nice. But we have 2 equipment tri-shops. And Tyler gets a gun. Not able to use that. Could have maybe used the gun on the grandparent. Rerolled off that. Who knows what that would have been? Defense nucleus? Opportunities are endless. And not going for a reroll. Okay, does go for a reroll. An instant regret as Tyler ends up with yet another gun. 2 guns. Instead of a Gubo Jr. We'll now have to host skip to get into the Mithrix Arena. And while he's host skipping, I mean, just look at Faku. Unless Faku has another incident with the shockwaves, we did see this in Loadout 1, where Faku was a whole Mithrix fight faster than Tyler in a really high damage run. But got a little sloppy at the end and ended up taking a death, and that costed him. Right, Faku would have just straight up been done. Wouldn't have even had to do this loadout. Almost done with phase 1. It's done now. And, I mean, this is just going to be fast. Not only does Faku have 5 ATGs, not only is there the bands, but there's also a crowbar. So if any ATGs get procced and they don't hit their target, right, the target's already dead, it moves on to the next one, it's an insta-kill. It is Giga ATG damage. Faku trying to be careful not to grab too much attention right now. In the midst of Wing Prison. Trying to land some backstab damage, unable to get it, just needs to shoot the enemies and kill them. He's taking a few hits here, still has OSP. These wisps are fast, they're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. They refuse to be backstabbed. Has to kill him the old-fashioned way. Tyler running over to the soups. We'll be able to see a couple. There might be some super-duper Giga item. Like Pocket ICBM, maybe. Nope. Nothing. It's going to go ahead and leave. I'm not sure what the item pinged was there. I think it's like a Happy Mask for ages. It's like Giga useless, but Faku's already in phase 3. Right, we don't even have to really focus on Tyler's run unless Faku dies. Because he's in the lead, and the only way Tyler can catch up is if Faku messes up. A lot of ATGs coming up. There we go, you can see every single one chunking away. Faku sees the time to finish off his golem right here. Is not able to. Faku does not have safer spaces, keep in mind. Only has Opal. Getting a lot of backstab damage and even lands a ATG. Is using the feather to have... Oh my god, okay. It's fine. Did not get double, triple hit or anything like that. Could have been a lot worse than that shockwave. Very fortunate is Faku. Does not have OSP anymore, but it's probably able to endure a pizza slice. A 25-minute Mithrix slice with 1 Opal is probably non-death. Yeah, especially with the PSG in there. And pizza's done. Probably we'll see one more iteration of pizza for Faku before phase 4, if phase 4 is even to happen. But with this happening, with Faku getting the win, this is going to spell the end of Tyler's 6 win streak. 6 first place matches in a row. It all comes down to this right here. This final slice. Tries to get the phase 4 skip. Doesn't land it. And now has to do phase 4. So it's not over yet. The last bit of a Hail Mary that Tyler has right now is Faku standing inside the blast zone from the Mithrix hit. It doesn't happen. Yep, that's gonna be it. It's hit by 1 needle, but who cares? Tyler made it to phase 2 by the time Faku made it done with phase 4. Right, Faku also ahead by 10 seconds in real time. Going to the ship now is going to get in first place for this race. And just well done to Faku, who had that hiccup. Aside from that hiccup, this whole day that we've seen from Faku has had a pretty good run, has had a pretty good time. Just had that one death. That was completely preventable. And aside from that, we've seen today Faku was the better racer. Beat Tyler real time in all 3 loadouts. And has earned this dub. Oh, you can see Mithrix speaking in Spanish there. Nice. And no grubbing for Faku at 85%. The only chance that Tyler has to keep the streak alive is if like 5 perfected exploders just spawned in randomly and immediately killed Faku right here. That doesn't happen. At 28:29, we'll see what the end screen time is. It's probably going to be like a 28:01. It's 28:05, I think. For Faku, well done. Well played, well deserved. We'll go ahead and watch the rest of Tyler's run anyway. Oh no. No. Oh. No, God. Let me go back a little bit. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't have a... Yeah, I don't have a scene for that, that's why. Okay, well, you just get to watch this anyway. You can look at Faku's in-screen, because it's so good. So I go back in time a little bit. There we go. Tyler now in phase 3 with really, really good damage, but again, despite moving so fast, right, just wasn't enough. And because of that lack of a pillar skip, just really spelled the disaster, the situation that Tyler found himself in. Maybe had he not gone and looked around so much after finding the safer spaces, might have been at a little bit of a better spot. Maybe if he didn't fight for so long on stage 5 before activating TP, right? Pre-spawns are scary, and it's usually a good idea to pull them out. Hindsight's 20/20 is perfect vision if you know everything that's going on Faku's screen. Yeah, all these seeds were insane. All these runs. And we've had 2 ATG printers, for instance. And the first loadout had literally everything you could ever ask for. Well, actually, no, the first loadout did. And the third loadout. I forgot about the second one. Now, second loadout was a little It was a little meh outside of the damage printers. And Tyler does not get the knife skip at either. Has to do phase 4. It's going to do the safer spaces tech if needed. Does not even need to do that. Will be invincible regardless. And here we go. Mithrix will go for a slam. And it's done. 30 minutes and 50 seconds. Which, again, Faku had the 28:05. It's going to be at least another more minute. For Tyler here, probably have like a 32:20 or something. Maybe like a 32:15. if there were such thing as bonus points in these tie-breaking rounds, Baku would have been close. Not enough though. Would have been denied. And we get some chat. Shouldn't have rerolled. Oh, I was thinking about Gubo Jr. Just like the wings. Shouldn't have rerolled just like the wings. So Tyler knew about the wings. Huh. Unless he's talking about a different incident. Oh, stage 5 wings ignored. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I should have gone for that. That's a good call. I didn't realize there were wings on stage 5. I thought it was just the safer spaces and that was it. But Tyler understands the mistake that was had, all the extra time that was needed, and finishes off with a 30... Yeah, it's going to be like a 32.05. $32.04. Final time for Tyler. GG, well played. In this crazy loadout race where we've had a tiebreaker, it was honestly a pretty close one between the two. We'll see probably these two racers at some point in the tournament face off against each other yet again. But for now, in the hosting league, that is going to conclude it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the tournament.